Before we start this video, I just wanted to say a quick thank you for choosing to watch this video. It's not easy putting these videos together, so I do appreciate you being here and choosing to watch. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. If you like the video, share it with your friends, share it with your family, anyone who supports Tottenham. All right, let's go. How are we doing, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you're tuning in from. If you're watching it back on repeat or playback, thanks for watching the post-video replay, if that's what it's called. It's nighttime in the dungeon tonight, so we've got a bit of mood lighting on, calm vibes, and I'm just going to kick back and talk Tottenham Hotspur. How's about that? How does that sound? Hope you're all well. I hope everyone's doing good in the chat. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. I hope you've got good plans for Sunday tomorrow. I've heard in the UK it is pretty damn hot. Yes, it's also very hot here in Cyprus as well. So at the moment, I'm doing one of these bottles of water every, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. Something like that. How you doing, guys? Let me know in the chat. Drop a message. Say hello. Let me know how you're doing. I hope you're all doing well. Tonight we will be discussing the new season's fixtures and the current transfer news. I actually haven't had a chance to go through all the fixtures one by one, but I will be doing that tonight. And we'll break it down, analyze it, see what we can make of it. And of course, we'll try and find the months that look like we should be doing quite well and the months that might be somewhat tricky. But before we get onto the fixtures, I want to discuss this. Sandro Tonali. He's all the talk at the moment. Spurs apparently seriously in for him, if you believe all the journalists, which we never know if we can believe them or not. But if we are to believe them, it looks like we're trying to sign Sandro Tonali. I did a video on Tonali last week, I think it was, telling you what I think of him. I did an analysis on him, and I don't understand the negativity surrounding fans who think Tonali doesn't fit the system. He won't tactically work for De Zerbi, and fans who think Tonali is a bad signing. I don't get it. I think it's really poor analysis, and I also think these fans need to remind themselves of the absolute bullshit that they have peddled online for the last God knows how many years. Because the same fans who are saying Tonali is no good for Tottenham, Tonali doesn't fit the tactics, Tonali's a waste of money, Tonali doesn't suit De Zerbi football, the same fans who are saying that are the same fans who said Archie Gray is generational, Pape Sarr is going to cook, Solanke perfectly fixes the Spurs press, and Moani is a top signing. So far, Archie Gray's been, Pape Sarr's been, Solanke has been nothing short of a flop, and Moani was a disastrous signing. So if you're going to go online and start saying Tonali's not that good and his stats are bad and he doesn't fit the De Zerbi system, you need to remember what you told us about Archie Gray, Pape Sarr, Solanke, and Moani. You don't really have much credit in the bank, if we're going to be honest about it. I think Tonali's a top signing if we get him. I think Tonali would be a fantastic signing for Tottenham Hotspur. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. I've just seen a few of you in the chat. So let's say hello. Resudo. How are things going? I'm good. I hope you're good as well. Levy has gone 22. Why 22? Why not just Levy has gone? What's significant about 22? I'm not falling for ENIC 2.0 until we get the players over the line. Hopefully, we show some huge ambition this summer. We need to show ambition every single summer. If we have a really good summer this year and all the fans at Tottenham start saying, oh, things have changed, see what happens once ENIC get rid of Levy, having a good summer means nothing. We need to have a good summer every single summer. We don't have to sign 15, 20 players. But if we only sign, let's say, 2 or 3 players, they've got to be special. So I don't want this scenario where we do what we always do, where we're in a bad situation where we've dropped out of Europe, or like we've just done for the last 2 seasons, we finished 17th twice. And it's panic stations. So let's throw money at it. Let's try and rebuild the team. And then as soon as we get back into Europe or we get into top 4, that's it. We start having rubbish windows again, because that's what happened when Harry Redknapp got us into the Champions League. We stopped having good windows. When Pochettino got us top 4 Champions League final, did we go big when we were a very desirable club to be at? No. When Conte got us back into the top 4, did we go for it? No. We spend more money when we drop out of Europe or when things aren't great than when we're in a strong position. If we're going to be good, we need to spend when we're struggling and when we're in a good position. So what you're saying here, hopefully we show some ambition this summer. I totally agree. It's got to be every summer. Otherwise, we'll never build. But I do agree this summer's got to be an ambitious one. Kay Bassi, how you doing? Hope you're well. Evening Stel. Van Heck had a good game for Netherlands. Baz Bassi. Van Heck's a good player. Van Heck is a good football player. Netherlands were too slick tonight. Who were Holland playing tonight? Let's have a quick look. They were playing Sweden. Oh, that's a very good result. Sweden aren't rubbish. 5-1. Wow. Ropesy Di Marzio Bomba. Bomba. Evening, Angry Birds. Stel, it does my head in. Oh, yeah. Big up to you, Apocalypse Now. And to you, Angry Birds, of course. Dan in the house. Dan, if you want to jump on, I've put the link in the group chat. You're welcome to jump on. Tonali, very good player. I rated him from AC Milan. I just don't understand people that think he's no good. I think Tonali's solid. Dropkick teacher. These are the same fans that think Somerville will be a good signing. Somerville is cooking in the World Cup. Do you know, it's always difficult to go by World Cups because you don't really know whether they're in a really good team or whether they're just having a good patch or whether they're actually really good or whether it's a bit of luck. You never know. I think you've got to judge them on their league performances because that's the true barometer of the player they are that most probably we're going to have if they come to our club. Ha ha raka. Come on, lads. We're not getting Tonali, would love him. He's off to the filth. I don't know if Arsenal want him, you know. I'm not convinced by that. Apocalypse Now they're saying keep the kids. Really, we're going to talk about that as well. Tonali and Fernandes would be dream signings, but let's stay awake and take things with a massive pinch of salt. Look, until they're wearing the shirt, right? Until they're wearing the shirt. Hi, Stel. Hello to you as well. Gorby 4. Hair looking well, lad. It's getting there. Still a bit patchy, but I'm 8 months in. I've got to wait 12 to 18 months. So let's see where we're at. Because they are 21 person who made the same name before him, lol. Because they are 21 All right, okay. Ghost LDM, big up still. Big up. Thanks for being here again. Appreciate it. Dropkick teacher. Enoch Levy always does this. They back the manager the very first window, then drop off. Well, this is why we've got to judge every summer, not just one window now. Barnett's looking good, fella. Baz Bassi. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Nitar. Good evening, still on the chat. Enjoying the World Cup. Hope you're all doing good. I'm good. Hope you're good. Thomas Abrahamson. Tonali is showing ambition. If he comes to Tottenham, is that ambition? Just ask him. I don't know the answer to that. I genuinely don't know the answer to that. How you doing, Rob? Many just don't know how to read a player's career. Rossoneri stats say DZ mid. We need to have long-term plans. Absolutely. 100%. And this is it. This is why we need to judge every summer, not just one. If we sign Tonali, my missus is getting the biggest facial. Lucky missus. Man like Danzo. Man like Danzo. I don't rate Danzo, by the way. If your name's Danzo, fair enough. But if you're talking about Danzo who plays for Spurs, I don't rate him. If we get Tonali, could you do a review analysis? I've done it already. I've done this already. Go check the channel. I've done this. The Netherlands midfield was ticking, no lie. Stel, when is the ice cream ad dropping? Yogi Bet. The ice cream ad? All right. If this is a joke, it's gone way over my head because I'm really crap at these kind of gags. So you're going to have to explain that one to me. Sorry. Apologies. Give me 10 minutes. I'll give you 9. You got 9 minutes, all right? Levy has gone. I want Somerville as Tell's reply. Why is Tell still at this club? See, this is what I mean. We've got to get rid of Tell. Oh, he's another one that people are saying he's going to cook. He's going to cook. Straight cannon. Big up, Tell. I want you to sign Fernandez just to see Goldbridge's faces. Why does Mark Goldbridge want him at Man United? You know, we're not talking about Fernandez, Bruno Fernandes from Man United. We're talking about Fernandez from West Ham, right? We're not talking about Bruno. We're not going to get Bruno Fernandes from Man United. I don't know about World Cup. Remember Amrabat. There's a lot of players. Do you remember Diego Forlan had a really good international competition, then he went to Man United and he was just very average. It's always... I think it's very difficult to scout in the World Cup, personally speaking. In the World Cup, there's far too many easy games for every player. Well, yeah, especially this year when they've let pretty much every single player in. Some of it almost signalled hand-handedly kept the hammers up. He would have been a great signing for us. Can't just... Do you know, I did an analysis, Sam. Thanks for your comment. I did an analysis on Somerville and it's actually very underwhelming. His output isn't actually that good at all. His output when he played in the Championship was a lot better. In fact, there was one season he played Leeds. He got something like 20 GA goals and assists, and he won Championship Player of the Year. But every season he's played in the Premiership, he's not delivered. There's no data to back up his output. But when he's in the Championship, he was turning heads, making some serious waves. He was cooking. But the Premier League, he hasn't really done it. So I'm kind of like this with Somerville, if I'm honest with you. Right, who have we got? Is it Alex or is it Mr. Box Office? Let's find out. Which one is it? Oh, it's Box Office. How you doing, Alex? How you doing, Mr. Box Office? Welcome. You all right?
Yeah, I'm here to come and ruin your show, Stelios, because that's what people say, Mr. Box Office ruins shows, don't it? You know what I mean? Talk to Lubo about that. Anyway, moving on. How's everybody doing on this nice Saturday morning, Saturday evening? Good football, man. Good football match against Sweden. good football against Sweden, wasn't it? You know what I mean? You know, it's a shame that Van Heck was too pedestrian for the Swedish goal. You know what I mean? Our new signing, actually, he's not a bad defender, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's not a bad defender. But I don't want to spoil
Van Heck is a very good player. But do you know, when I did my analysis on him, the one thing that stood out with Van Heck was every single year, Alex, he's getting better and better and better. And if you look at the last season he just had, everything said that he's ready to go to a bigger club for bigger challenges and go to that next level. Because the last 4 years in the Premier League, he's just got better and better and better. Let's bring in Dan as well. Evening, Dan. Hope you're doing well. So Van Heck, from what I understood, is a really good player, especially on the ground, especially with tackles, especially with carrying the ball into midfield, especially with passing. The only thing he's weak at, he's not great in the air, and he's lacking a little bit of pace. But
he's lacking a little bit of pace, and also
every defender is the same.
And also, I came on also because your internet looks like it's gonna go as well. So someone needs to stick it, be there to save the show for you. Again, unlike some people, Lubo and Sean Butler. But anyway, moving on. My point is anyway. Sorry. It's Mr. Box Office. You know what I mean? I'm always going to have that little dig.
They're not here to defend themselves, Alex.
I don't care. Well, they know the link. The link. Get them on to have their say. Then they're big enough to backbone to come on and have a go at Mr. Box Office. I don't really care. My point is anyway. Yeah. Right. I do agree with the whole. I don't agree with the whole Tonali thing. Right. There's no. Before, let me finish. Before you say anything, jump on it. He's a good player. He's better than all of what we got in the midfield. 100%. Right? No disrespect, yeah? Don't worry about that, yeah? But he ain't this player that can pass the ball, control the midfield. He ain't that player. He ain't that player.
Yes,
right? No, he's not. Well, go and watch his highlights. I've watched him. Go watch him play at AC Milan, Alex. They played him. I've gone to watch him at AC Milan as well. I've seen his highlights as well. The guy can't control the midfield. Yes, he defends. He's very well. He presses. He progresses the ball, but he ain't no Wharton. He ain't got the Wharton. If you want to talk about someone that can who can pass a ball, Fernandes can do that. He can do that. Yeah, he definitely can do that.
Control the midfield. Do you mean he's totally incapable of it, basically?
No, I'm not saying he's incapable of it.
Proved that he can have a control of the midfield to an extent that he can put a good side on it. And Tonali is a lot better than Bentancur.
Yeah, we're not arguing that he's not better than Bentancur. We're not arguing that he's not better than
controlling midfield.
Yeah, but I just don't think he controls the midfield. I don't think he controls the tempo of the midfield. Well, he doesn't control the tempo of midfield. No, he doesn't.
Right.
You just have to watch his highlights and you see it. And I've seen him at AC Milan as well. And the same sort of patterns of videos clips I've seen. There's no literally controlling the tempo of midfield, making it slow or making it quick. I see it from Fernandes. Yes, I've seen it. Okay, you can talk about stats, but I need to see it, right? But I don't, and I see it from Wharton, but I don't see it from Tonali. I think we're gonna have him in a new sort of role in our team. And from what I think at the moment, if you're going to get a Tonali in, well, it spells the end for Sarr, Gray, Basuma's already gone. I even look at Bergvall. I think he's done. He's done. You know what I mean? I think
is that a bad thing?
Aren't they all?
No, it's bad.
Aren't they all good?
That's not a bad thing.
Exactly.
So, Alex, can I ask you a question? Because I'm a bit confused. Do you want Tonali at Tottenham or not?
No, I didn't say that I didn't want Tonali. I'm just saying that he's not that type of midfielder.
Alex, that's why I'm asking the question. I said I'm confused. Do you want him or not?
Yeah, I don't mind him. I think he's definitely better than what we've got. It's not a criticism saying I don't want him. But there's a point of me saying that I just don't think he's I don't think he's that midfielder that we really need in terms of no, he's not the type of midfielder that the profile midfielder that we need in the midfield that we haven't got at the moment. That's what I'm saying. That passer, that's what we need. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying that he's going to improve. He's going to improve our midfield because he's tenfolds what we've got in our midfield at the moment. So, but that profile we need is a Wharton. That's what we need. A Locatelli. That's what we need. If you want to go back in time, Michael Carrick, Huddleston, Tom Huddleston. That sort of player that can control and tempo that midfield. Do you know what I mean? That's what we need. I don't think he's that type of player. I think we see it more. I see it more with Fernandez, Mateus Fernandez, than Tottenham than thing. Go on.
Those players you mentioned, Carrick, Huddleston, they're not going to drive the team. They're not going to push it forward, right? Tonali does.
Yeah.
Tonali does. What Carrick does is he connects all the dots and he keeps it ticking. He'll get on the ball, calm it, speed it up a bit, get the team moving, get the team playing. But Huddleston was just kind of not as good version of Carrick, but had a sweet shot on him. Tonali's a player that will push Tottenham forward. And when I mean forward, I don't mean up the league table, I mean on the pitch. And if we're going to be an attacking team, if we're going to play attacking football, you need someone that's going to drive that. So I get Tonali. I totally get it. It makes perfect sense to me. And he's Premier League proven. What's really good about Tonali, his best quality is he's one of the most adaptable players to tactics. So if we change tactics, he can adapt to it. He's a very, very flexible, adaptive, tactical player. So when I hear people say, oh, Tonali doesn't fit the tactics, it's absolute bullshit because he adapts to tactics. So how can he not fit the tactics? It doesn't make sense. If you want a Moussa Dembele, yeah, he's not that. He's not Moussa Dembele.
No.
He's different.
But I think he doesn't control the tempo. That's what you said. That's what you said about Carrick is exactly what I'm talking about. He controls the tempo. Yes, what I'm saying about Tonali, yes, he will bring us forward. Yes, he will, because he's got that energy. He's got the quality to get us forward, and he will go forward more because he'll press more and he'll have that energy to do that. But what I'm saying is that I'm more looking at Michael Carrick Wharton because there will be that sort of guy to keep it ticking, but control the tempo of the game, and that's what I was talking about. I think that's the player that we are missing at the moment. I don't think Tonali's that sort of player. That's my point. He will bring us forward. Yes, he will.
Alex, I think we need both players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I say we need both players. That's what I'm saying. But I don't think Tonali is that sort of player that will do that sort of thing. I think he's more guy getting forward, that box to box sort of midfielder. But he's a hybrid sort of midfielder, whatever that means. Anyway, you get.
It depends how you want to call it controlling midfield, because there's more than one way to control a midfield. You can have a controlled midfield through someone sitting back like a Carrick and just passing the ball short, passing the ball long, and basically keeping his place. You can have somebody doing it that way. You can have someone doing it like, what's his face? Man City. He can sit back and pass it, but then he also holds the ball slow and runs forward with the ball and passes it, or stays back a little bit and waits for the time and everything. That's also controlling the midfield. And that's more like what Tonali can does. When I watched him at AC Milan countless times over the years, because I thought he was going to be the next Pirlo, basically. No, he didn't hit it that hard, but I thought he had the potential to do it at the time. That is what he used to do in Italy a lot of the time. And like Stel said, he would play different ways in different games for him against different teams. Sometimes you'd see him sit back a lot deeper, do a lot more tackling, and just the short ball press forward a little bit. Other times you'd almost see him play a 10 role, basically, an attacking midfielder. Other times you'd see him play as a central midfielder and run forward with the ball or keep back with it. He's a very adaptable player. And I suppose it depends on what you want to call controlling a midfield. How do you want your midfield controlled, basically? The way he can control a midfield and change a midfield, I like it. Would I have Locatelli in there to control a midfield as well? Yes, I would. But the way he does it, more like a Michael Carrick way, basically. I mean, I think Tonali is a quality player. I don't think he's quite lived up to his possibilities at Newcastle, basically. Like I said, I thought he was going to be the next Pirlo, but I think he's a very good player. And what we'd use him for, I think he's exactly what we need, because he's better than everything we've got in every which way possible. He's basically Bentancur, except a lot better.
Yeah, but that's what Bentancur doesn't control midfield though.
But he has done,
doesn't control.
But he did when he started playing. When he started playing for us again alongside Paulinho, enough people turned around and said, "We've got a little bit more control of midfield now that Bentancur's here." So he must have had some sort of control.
But whether he did it for a small portion when he was here, when he started, he's not doing it. He doesn't really do it that much now. I don't look at him and say
when he came back after injury.
Well, yeah, definitely. I just don't think he's that. I just, from what I've seen from the clips of him, from the clips I've seen from Tonali, I think maybe your definition of controlling midfield is different to me. I look at controlling midfield as more Carrick, Michael Carrick, Rodri, who can slow the tempo down and quicken the tempo up, and that's it. Again, I know people are going to look at me and say, "I don't want Tonali." Well, that you're dumb if you can't see what I'm talking about, because I didn't say that I didn't want Tonali. It's just I'm not having a go at you two. It's just that I know in the chat will make up what I've said and said I've said something different, but that's the Tottenham fan base over the years. Dumb. My point is though, yeah, right, is that I'm saying to you that for me, he does press a lot and he does get it forward very quickly. But I look at somebody, a midfielder that can control midfield is someone that can play it long, play it short, make it slow, make it quick, turn it on. That's what Pirlo's all about. I think he's more Gattuso, Tonali. He's got more Gattuso in him than a Pirlo. I don't think he's a Pirlo. I think if you want to talk about the profile, I think he looks like more. I think he's a more hybrid Gattuso. I think that's where I'm at with him, right? But again,
I
just to make it clear,
be as good as Pirlo, but he didn't end up as good as that. I was just saying, I thought that's how good he was going to be when I used to watch him at AC Milan. That's where I thought his potential was. But no, he didn't go that high, not at all.
But he's definitely better than what we've got. There's no disagreement there. And I'm not getting into the whole thing. I mean, I don't know what the tacticos are saying, but like this is what De Zerbi wants. So I mean, I thought that this was their manager. So if they don't believe in Tonali, you obviously don't believe in De Zerbi. So I don't really get this whole thing.
Alex, what pisses me off with these tacticos? They're the same tacticos who did videos saying Solanke fixes the Spurs press, Archie Gray's generational, Pape Sarr's going to cook at Tottenham, Mawani's a good signing. So they praise Mawani, Sarr, Gray, and Solanke, but when it's Tonali, nah, that doesn't work. Nah, we got like what planet are Spurs tacticos on? Like they want to try and laugh at Tonali, but then they praise to the max the Moanis and the Sarrs and the Gray. This is why we're in the mud as a club, because we think shit players are good and good players we want to criticize. I've said already. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me.
We've already given excuses. We've already given excuses to some of these players.
There's not one fan, if they were being honest, would say Tonali improves Tottenham. Right? Does Tonali improve Tottenham? Yes, he does.
Yes.
I mean, the conversation should pretty much end there, right?
I mean, but the other thing people complain about still, they say we've got no physicality in midfield. The fella does also play with physicality as well. Do you know what? If someone turned around and said to me he's a bit of a jack of all trades, master of none, I could almost go with that, because he has got a bit of everything, but he's not particularly. I'd say the best thing he's got is getting forward with the ball and getting that passing. He's not a goal scorer. He never really has been as that. But he's definitely better by a long way than everything we've got. it's a long shot that I would have thought we would never go for. I wouldn't have thought there's a point for it. So it's another one for me that if we're going to do it and there's a chance of it, put your money on the table, shut up, pay the wages, get the job done. There is no way that he's worse than anything. He's significantly better than anything we got. It's not as though we'd just be getting that player who's a little bit better. We'd be getting that player that is two or three times better than what we've got. He's 4 times the player of what Archie Gray is. He can do much more than what Bergvall does. Bentancur's injured too much. Paulinia's not going to be here anymore. And then you look at other options we've got. He's much better than everything we have got.
Dan, I remember last summer, we had a lot, not a few, a lot of fans that were questioning why we're going after Morgan Gibbs-White. What's the point of Morgan Gibbs-White? And I just sat there thinking, do you not watch Tottenham every week to know that we are just shit? And Morgan Gibbs-White can actually play football. And then Morgan Gibbs-White, we played Nottingham Forest twice, and he cooked us. And he cooks us. And you think, that's the player. That's the player you lot told me was not good enough for Tottenham. You know. And then Eze. I remember there were some fans that were saying, "Oh well, you know, Eze was a bit overhyped anyway." No, he's not. Eze's quality. You know.
I think the problem. I think the difference is at the moment is that when you get Tonali in, you've got. The question is, because the Derby wants him so much. I'm looking at him thinking that he wants to base the whole Tottenham team on Tonali. You know, play the Tottenham team around him. So they have to look at players that can make him tick, basically. So I do look at that squad right now, and I don't look at some of those players, and I don't think they can go up to par with Tonali at the moment. You know what I mean? So there's no point in bringing in Tonali, and then you have Archie Gray working with him.
I don't think you're going to see that, though. I mean, does anybody even actually know what formation we're going to use?
Well, that's the point I'm making.
I think he stuck with a 4-2-3-1 definitely because it was the easiest and most simple thing to do. Do I think he'll change it? I honestly don't know because I have seen him use 3 at the back quite consistently at times. I've seen him play a lot of the time with 4 at the back. I think we're just going to see by the transfers of where he actually wants to go. What was the smart thing to do at the end of last season? 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, short, sweet, simple. Just get the basics in there and make it work. And I think that's what he just about managed to pull off. I don't even think we know what formation we got coming up.
It depends what players we get. Like if we don't get a proper striker, I think that changes the situation. Because if we're going to go into next season with Solanke and Richarlison, then if we go for them, sorry to interrupt you still, but if we go with those two, I'm done. Especially Richarlison, that below average Emereski, I'm done. I mean, honestly, they might as well just got relegated last season then. Really, honestly. But for me personally, I think we're basing the whole Tottenham team on Tonali. I think that's what he wants. And then it's just really who's going to be around him to help him make him tick. You know what I mean? I think that's what he's thinking at the moment. Because I think listen, right? People are worried Tonali can't control the midfield. Okay. We've just signed 2 centre-backs that both step into midfield and can play. So it could be a situation where Van Heck and Senesi step, they boss it, and Tonali progresses. Right?
That's what I was thinking.
That could be how we play. Well, that's how we could play. That could easily happen. Because
the other thing is
especially Senesi,
Tonali is a very forward passing player. Very.
Yeah.
He's always he passes it forward just as much as he runs it forward. He's not like Bergvall who just runs forward and you get absolutely nothing out of him. He's a very, very forward-going player.
Well, you see it in his clips. All those clips that he has is him playing the ball forward.
Clips can just be lies, yeah. I can make
no. But I'm just saying at the moment. The only reason why I'm saying clips at the moment is because there's only so much you can see on videos or recordings, unfortunately, because of copyright, and you know you can't watch the whole match every single day, can you, Dan? You know what I mean? So unfortunately, you got to go and look out for these things and see it for yourself rather than just seeing
But this is
stats.
what I'm
And
saying.
from what I
But this
saw,
is
from what
what
I've
I'm
seen
saying.
from Senesi, he always plays the ball forward. And another one as well, Van Heck, you're absolutely spot on still. Don't get used to it, bruv. But Van Heck, yes, he puts the ball forward. He does long passes. He brings the ball forward. So you are on the money. It could be a tactic. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So
If you want to play attacking football and you want to push teams back and you want to go at them, you need players that are going to do that. That's exactly what Tonali does. What he's not going to do is score you loads of goals. He's not going to get you loads of goals.
The other thing I like about him is he's always willing to take a risk with his pass as well. He's not necessarily a safe passer that'll always pick the safest pass. I'm not saying he's a playmaker, not at all, but he has got that initiative on him to see a pass and be willing to take the chance, not just always go for the safe side ball or the safe 2-yard pass. He's very willing to pass that ball forward and take the chance with it as well. And we haven't got anybody who does that except Maddison. Every other player we've got is side to side to side. I mean, Paulinho was probably Bentancur was our most forward passing player when he actually played for us. And even a majority of his passes were more side to side, but he was more forward passing than the rest. Archie Gray, when did he ever take a chance or he pass it behind him? Paulinho keeps it level with him. Bergvall, he just runs with it and loses the ball all the time. Basuma, he just didn't live up to any standards with us. But that's another thing I like about Tonali. He's more than willing to take a chance. And that is, again, if anything, that's a bit of creativity, isn't it? You in the arse as well. But sometimes if you don't take chances, you don't make chances as such, if you get where I'm coming from. And he's another player who can do.
I don't disagree with you. Go on still. You're going to say something.
I was going to say, one of the issues we've got to rectify is Bentancur, Maddison aren't going to give you a whole season. At some point, Bentancur will be out for 4 months. Maddison will be out for half a season.
Yep.
Their availability is very average. They're hardly.
Yeah, I think what he's trying to say is that they're very average, Maddison and what is it?
There's no consistency. There's no consistency in the amount of game time you get out of them. Not at all. I mean, even if we're going to be honest about Maddison, since he's been at Spurs, he could have played what? Are we talking about 130 odd games, something along those lines?
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure he's played half of them. And if you really want to be technical about it with Maddison, even though I think he's definitely the most gifted player we got and a very gifted player, even when Maddison did play for us, he only turned up for half the games anyway. Or am I being too harsh there?
No, I don't think you've been too harsh. I think I like Maddison, but I think but the problem is at the moment his availability is a problem for Tottenham. You know, if you're relying on him a lot, like, you know, that's going to be a problem next season, and the same with Bentancur as well. You know, because if we're going to keep the likes of, and again, it seems that we always have to go back to these players, Bergvall and Archie Gray. You know where this is heading, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
relegation battle.
Exactly. So this is the thing. This is the point I'm making now. So you've got a really harsh decision at the moment to say, right now, okay, if you can't keep yourself fit, you've got to be harsh. You know what I mean? You have to be harsh and look at players that can be fit for majority of the season. You know, because the thing is though, when I talk about. We all talk about we want to see a fluent attacking team. Well, you're not going to do that when you've got no chemistry and no availability for your top players.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just no point.
No, you're right.
You know, if a car mechanism doesn't have its parts and it's not always working, the car's not going to work fluidly, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's not going to get you to your destination. And then Tottenham Hotspur have a destination of wanting to do well this next season. They're going to have all their parts. So I'm just doing an analogy here. You know what I mean? You know?
No, but you're right on what you're saying. One thing this club severely lacks and has done for quite a long time now is consistency in every which manner, from down to the way we play and also how good or how bad we play or the style of play. Literally everything about this club is inconsistent, from players to style to manager to everything.
I just want to see us fix that front three, Dan. If I could fix one thing at Tottenham right now, it's that front three. I think it's so bad. I think honestly, that was watching Tottenham get to the final third and then not have a clue what to do. Just basic through balls, first touches. How many times last year did you see a player pass the ball off the pitch? Like trying to play a through ball and then just kick it off the pitch. You're like, how does it? Every game I'd see someone just play a through ball and overhit it or not have a good first touch. And I'm thinking, fuck me, this is awful. Like, what am I watching?
That's where, bar maybe Maddison, we just have lack of technically gifted players. I mean, for me, Kudus, he's gifted, but one thing I don't like about him is I think he takes too long. I think Kudus has got a similar problem to Romero. And what I mean by that is he'll slow the game right down to look for that perfect pass instead of sometimes make the easy pass. And that can also bite you in the arse as well. And I think Kudus does that a lot as well. There's been many a times where he could have just made an easy pass and he didn't. He waited for the long pass and then that slowed the whole system down. They got their defence back in now and then his pass was pretty much irrelevant anyway. I mean, personally, he's one who I'd give a go as a number 10 because still, I think we need a number 10 just as much as we need a striker because we haven't got a consistent number 10. Maddison, for me, isn't even... I wouldn't... If I was the manager, I wouldn't be looking at Maddison in my first 11. Reason being, now, if I knew he was going to be fit for 3/4 of the season and that, straight in there. But if we're going to go by history and we're going to go by how crippled his kneecaps are, basically, and Weetabix for ankles, you know you're going to be lucky if you get 12 to 13 games out of him, yeah? So he wouldn't even be in my picking 11 if I'm picturing the team that I want to put together for game for the next season. If anything, I'm taking Maddison out and putting him on the subs bench because there is just absolutely no consistency on him whatsoever of the amount of game time you get off of him because he is broken in a lot of ways. So if a manager then ends up relying on someone like Maddison, I think that's a very bad move from a manager. It's not a sensible move. So, and Kulo, I think we'll be lucky if we ever see him play football again, if I'm going to be honest. And if he does, it's not going to be to the same standards with the injuries he's had. So where's our number 10? The closest thing we got to a number 10 then, at the moment, is probably Kudus. So I think we actually need a playmaker just as much as we need a striker. Because if we haven't got that...
We've got Xavi Simons, haven't we? But he's injured.
Yeah, but again, for me, Xavi Simons has done nothing to prove that he can handle a number 10 role in the Premier League for me, bar a moment here or there.
But he was dropped a lot last season as well. He got mismanaged. He got mismanaged as well.
But so did Paulinho. So was there a reason to why he got dropped? I personally think we'll see better out of Simons playing him on the left because he won't be getting as much physicality on him. I don't think he can handle the physicality of the Premier League, personally.
I think a lot of players were poorly managed last year. I was saying it under Frank. I said this. I'm not impressed by the coaching, and you know people didn't want to hear it. And I said I just don't rate the coaching. And then Tudor came in. I don't know what Tudor did. I've got no idea. De Zerbi came in and just did what it took to get points on the board.
Exactly. Plain Jane and simple. Smart move.
Got rid of all the youngsters. Said right, no more kids. He's lucky that Bentancur came back from injury. Maddison came back. So he had a few players that came back to help him. But I agree with Kudus in the 10. I said it last season. He can go left or right. So why isolate him on the wing? I actually don't think he's a good winger. I actually don't think he's a good winger. No, I think he's good at beating a man.
He's similar to Kulu, isn't he? On the wing, I think he's actually quite similar to Kulu. I think he's better on the wing than Kulu, but I think he's quite similar. And Kulu, you see better out of him as a CM or a cam.
Mate, I
he
think
used to play at Juventus.
I think Aaron Lennon was a better winger than Mohamed Kudus. Aaron Lennon was a better winger. I think Kudus cutting in and playing in that 10 is far better. Far better. He must.
I
He'd be a
think
handful to defend against if he played in the 10.
I'd think you'd. I agree with that as well. Plus, he's got a physicality to him as well. And the number 10 doesn't usually have a bit of physicality to them, do they? Most number 10s have always been, how shall I put it? They haven't been the most hench fellas, have they? Most number 10s. And I think you could use him as a 10 now and a target man at the same time, basically.
We didn't have a plan.
I think we'd be better off with him in the middle as well. And a winger, what is a winger these days? How many do actually play with an out-and-out winger? These days, it's an inside forward, basically, that you play with. It's very rare that they use.
We didn't have a plan for Kudus, didn't we?
The closest we play with a winger these days is when someone plays with a wing back, really.
Mate, do you know what player I looked at? And I did analysis on, and he was top. But he's not a good dribbler, but his output on the wing smashed everyone out the park. Harry Wilson at Fulham. Mate, 10 goals, 7 assists, dead ball specialist, set piece, elite levels of delivery. Harry Wilson last season ripped it up on a different level, and he's not good at dribbling, but he doesn't need to be because he found another way.
But Fulham gave him the Fulham gave him.
But Alex, his delivery of the ball levels above Mohamed Kudus.
I'm not disagreeing with you. But I think the problem is what I wanted to chime in when Dan was speaking, what he was saying. I think he's spot on what he's saying. But the problem is, I think with Kudus, is we didn't have a plan for him when he came in. It's like the whole thing with Javi Simmons. I think what we thought was he's a winger, we stick him on the right. But really, if we really did our research on him, he could be in the centre, he could be in the number 10, he could be up front. We just didn't. Well, I don't think we actually looked at it and thought we could have a plan for him, because I think that's the problem at the moment. I think the thing is Harry Wilson. I think Harry Wilson is a good player. He had a very good season. Absolutely, totally agree with you, still. But what is the plan with him? You know what I mean? Are we going to use him to his strengths? And again, it comes back to what I said before. How is he going to work with certain, like, if we're going to bring in Tonali, how is he working with Tonali? You know what I mean? When he's trying to get forward, you know what I mean? How is he going to connect with him? You know, what is the chemistry going to be like with them two? You know what I mean? You know, that's my question at the moment now, because I think that's where we will, because I know Dan loves a functional team. I don't like that sort of functional team. I like a more cohesive team that is more fluent, you know, that can switch play, you know, switch positions, and just that, you know, just good football. You get what I'm saying? Like the Poch days and like Harry Redknapp.
You can be functional and play fluid football. You can be both. The best teams are actually both.
Yeah, got the best of both worlds, isn't it? Because there's times where you're going to have that much pressure on you, where you are going to have to almost play pragmatic because you're just going to get pushed back that far. Especially when you're a team like Spurs, there's going to be teams out there that are going to push you back to the limits. And then if you've got the capability of doing the counter-attack with someone who can pass the ball forward, and we've actually got a couple of defenders who've got a good forward pass on them, get it to a midfielder to another forward pass and get the ball up there within 3 passes, that's how you deal with that situation. You know, but then when you've got the ones that sit back, then we also need a team that can actually put the pressure on them as well. And we haven't got that at the moment.
Do you know what? When I was doing my coaching badges, one of the instructors said to me, don't focus on winning, focus on developing the individual players. And I said, why would I do that? And he goes to me, because if you develop the individual players and you've got 11 really good players on the pitch, naturally, the team will be better because every position you've got a good player. And it kind of got me thinking, right? If we just signed good technical players that make good footballing decisions because they're intelligent. So intelligent technical players at centre-back, wing-back, midfield, up front, wing, goalkeeper. If you just sign those types of players, I think naturally we're just going to be a good team no matter what. We're just going to be bloody good anyway because we've got really, really good players on the pitch. Then it's just down to the managers to try and gel them and say, right, can I bring you lot together? Wasn't that the Real Madrid philosophy, Galacticos? Wasn't that the idea behind like the Galacticos? Just sign the best player in their position.
But that didn't go right at all, did it?
What do you mean? Really? They won the Champions League like 3 years
but
back.
you look at what you look. No, I'm going back further than that. When they had the team, when they spent like nearly $1 billion on the bloody squad, it didn't actually live up to it.
Dan Beckham, all that.
Ronaldo, everything, and that team did not live up to its standards of to what people expected.
They won everything. What are you talking about? They won everything.
No, they didn't. They won the league once and still got cooked by Barcelona every single bloody time. They did not live up to the standards.
But Barcelona,
what they was expected.
Barcelona had a team of Galacticos as well.
Yeah, in a bit of a different way. They didn't go out and necessarily buy the best. They produced it. My point is, a lot of people said with the team that it had on paper, it didn't actually quite live up to quite the standards that people expected of it. I'm not saying it didn't do good.
I don't know about that. They won everything. Won the
what's the saying with it? I think that Real Madrid team had too many Chiefs, not enough Indians.
Listen, Barcelona and Real Madrid were both elite, right? They were both elite teams at the time.
Yeah.
I just personally think, as much as we say, we want this player to fit that system, or this player doesn't control the game, or this player doesn't have good this. How's about you just sign just really good players and put them, say, right, that's, like if we sign Bruno Fernandes tomorrow, would anyone complain that he can't fit the system? No, he's fucking brilliant. If we signed Saliba from Arsenal, would anyone complain? No. If we sign Haaland, would you complain? No. Why? Because they're just really good football players in their position, right?
Exactly. You don't even need a flexible player as such for me, yeah? Okay, it helps. But the main thing I'm interested in, if I'm a manager, I'm looking at that position. I want a player who is good in that position, who knows what he's doing in that position. Whether he can play left, up, down, right, middle, whatever, that's not what I'm bothered about. I'm bothered about what he can do in that specific position. That's all I care about at that moment. Okay, it's going to help if he can play in the middle or play on the left. But I've been saying this for like nearly 3 years now. If you go and get a pretty standard team, but everyone in their right position to do, and then get them to play the right way to what they're good at in the right formation that matches the players, you can make a very standard team look like a very good team. Or you can go and get a load of quality players, put them on there, but play them the wrong way or try and get them to do things that they're not at their best at. You can make a very good team actually look very average at best.
No, I agree with you.
It's about getting the players to the best out of the players in that position.
Well, so that's why you need to get the right profiles.
Well, it's like the other thing as well. If we're going to play 4 at the back, basically play it with left back and right back, I can't understand why anyone would want to keep Porro. He's absolutely shit. Whereas if you go and stick him as an actual wing back, you will actually get something out of that player. You will actually see what he is capable of. The one thing he's not capable of is defending. He's bloody awful.
Well, but this is where we're interested, though, Dan. This is where the interest is. This is where it's interesting because he's obviously signed a new contract. I don't know if this was the way we were going because we were talking about Real Madrid and Barcelona. I think we'll talk about the quality and stuff like that. But from what I gather, the point I'm making is about Porro. When you go on to that point on Porro, I'd be interested to see what De Zerbi wants to do with him now. Does he want to invert him, or what is it that he wants to do with him? Because I totally agree with you. I thought that for me, there's a lot of question marks on whether we need to keep Porro because is he just one-dimensional? Because the last couple of seasons now, he struggled, because he attacking wise, he's very good. He's good. I won't say he's brilliant because he does a good cross, but that should be a standard for attacking right back. But in the other way, defensively, he's not good. If you play him don't play him a certain way, he's let's be honest here, bang average. You know what I mean? So the question mark is that now he's signed into a new contract, which I don't really agree with. What is going to be his role going forward with De Zerbi? You know what I mean?
Now, if we play free at the back and use him as a wing back, or we use him as do you know what? I think you'd even see better of him, personal opinion, up the top on the right, crossing the ball in than you will do as a right back. One thing he is not is a defensive-minded player. He's not good in defensive in any means or manner, except maybe getting in front of the ball. That is why every time a team plays against us, 9.9 times out of 10, they always focus down our right-hand side at the bottom where Porro is, because he's not good defensively. And that is why every team basically focuses on that side. From Ange, they used to do it all over with Frank playing. Since then that we've played with him, basically, they have always focused on him when it comes to the defensive side.
He's not good. He's like that guy that is in the office, right? And he's good at doing one specific role, but then you'd say to him, "Oh, you want to do better in your role? Do you want to do go up in your life? Go up."
You know what he is? You know what he is? He's a poor man's Trent, basically, in that aspect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trent can't defend for shit. He's diabolical at defending. But what teams did with him, like Liverpool, is if, say, for instance, we do use Porro as the right back, but tell him to go forward, as long as we get the others to then slip into a back three and basically cover that space like Liverpool did with Trent, basically, then that's okay to do that. But if we're just going to play with a flat back four or whatever else, and you wanted to use him as a defensive-minded player, you're not going to get that out of him, basically. You're not going to get that sort of thing out of him. But if we're going to use him to push forward and then cover it with a back three, slip the left back in there, basically, then okay, you can use him like that because you can then afford the mistakes and not be totally cooked down your right-hand side.
So maybe you could just do that. You could do this. You could do Senesi. You could do Porro, Senesi, Danzo. No, Van Heck, and then Van der Ven maybe on the left, and then you let Porro just bomb on, and then you just do the three in up at the back with Senesi.
We don't know what way he wants to play. We really don't.
I don't like Van der Ven at left back. I've been watching him at Holland. He's always out of position. He's not a left back. It doesn't work for me. He needs to play centre back. Van der Ven needs to go centre back.
You think?
I was only just thinking of an idea. That was it. That was just an idea, because just on the back of what
Holland playing there, for me, it doesn't work.
He's always played that way for his country, though. Even on under 21s, he always plays as left back, didn't he?
I think there's aspects of his game that go missing. I don't like it.
It's just pace. Why you look at him as a left back or a wing back, isn't it? For the pace he's got, it's the first thing that comes into your mind. Play him on the wing, isn't it? Yeah. That's what 9 out of 10 people would look at it straight away and think, could he do it on the wing? Because of his pace, purely. But then he isn't. I don't think Van der Ven is as great as some people say. I think he's a good defender. I think he's a good ball-playing defender. Very good at getting forward with the ball. But as a defender overall, I think he's good. I don't think he's no 100 million spectacular player like some other reckons. I reckon he's below average when it comes to the air. Improved a little bit, but I think he's below average. His tackling's good. His timing's good. But I don't think he's nothing particularly special.
I don't think he's. I agree with you.
I think he's a good player, and I think he's more than good enough for a first team. And when I say a good player, I'm not saying average. He's better than average. He's a good player, but I don't think he's as quality as some people say.
I think it's down to coaching, right? I really do believe this. When Ange first come and we signed Van der Ven, we finished 5th with him as the centre back. I'm really interested to see how we play with him under De Zerbi, because when De Zerbi came, Van der Ven wasn't making mistakes. It wasn't him that was costing us. It was the Danzos. It was the Tells giving away penalties. It was what's his name? I can't remember. There's one or two players that were causing the mistakes. It wasn't Van der Ven. I think Van der Ven's going to have a good season under De Zerbi. I think it's going to work really well for him. But I hear what you're saying, Dan. He isn't this. He's not Jan Vertonghen. He's not Jan Vertonghen.
No,
he's not Jan Vertonghen. No chance.
No, I think he's a good defender. I think he'd get into a lot of teams. I think there's bigger clubs that he would definitely suit more for their style of play, where they'd rely on his pace. I mean, I think one thing that definitely did do him, I wouldn't say physically favours, but done him favours for the way he can play, was the way that Ange played. Because it was obvious that you desperately needed him there, because he was about the only thing that could save us many a time. But the amount of times he had to sprint back from the halfway line, 10 times a game, 12 times a game, absolutely ruined his hamstrings at the time, didn't it? And as I say, as a defender overall, I think he's a good defender, solid defender. But I don't think he's no 100 million, 120 million, like some people were saying that if Liverpool go for him, that's what they got to pay for him. But then with modern day money, who knows? And if you're going to use him as a player, you've got to find a way to use his pace one way or another. One way or another, you've got to find a way to use it, because that is his most exceptional part, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you was to tell him to just sit back in a flat back four, old school, flat line, you'd almost be wasting a bit of a player of what he could possibly do. Instead of just using him as a normal centre-back, no-nonsense John Terry style, instead of a ball-playing centre-back, you'd almost be wasting him to an extent for the pace he has got.
Do you know who he reminds me of, but in a completely different position? Gareth Bale. Where you can just knock a ball past someone and he's gone. And at the end of it, he's got to finish. Like Van de Ven has got to finish, you know. Once he laces,
he's a defender though. That's the problem. If you want to play him up front,
that's why I said he reminds me of Gareth Bale, but a completely different position. He's got that about him.
Because if you want to just turn him into a striker, you've got a striker there, haven't you?
I don't know what to do with Van de Ven. I
don't think the Dutch would forgive you for that, because I think that he's looked as a defender, isn't he? You know what I mean? But
Gareth Bale was
better than what we've got at the moment.
Gareth Bale was a defender at Southampton.
Yeah, I know he's a defender. I know, but I think that was just the progression. Really, that was just normal. Was it? It was just kind of inevitable, his progression to be a striker, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Especially
really.
when
Harry Redknapp just said, "You're wasted there. No, we're not doing this." And then he moved him to winger, and he just became electric.
I mean, let's be honest.
I actually don't know with Van de Ven.
Let's be honest. He's better than our strikers right now. I mean, that's
I think he's better suited to a back three, but not a back four.
Who, Van de Ven? You mean Van de Ven, yeah? On the back three?
I think he does mean it, Van de Ven. I think his thing's going to struggle again.
Then I'll agree with that, because then you can play him as your ball-playing defender on the left to actually charge forward, and you've got the other two there. I agree with that. I think you might actually see overall better out of him on a back three line. I agree with that, because then you can definitely use his pace.
He's talking about Van de Ven.
Yeah. Van de Ven.
I'm sure he's talking about Van de Ven,
yeah. Whereas if you're only using two at the back, basically, two centre backs, one of them goes forward, the other one, for me, you've got to have stay back. With him and Romero, they both push forward. I don't like that in two centre backs, but that's just me personally. I like to have my no-nonsense centre back and my ball-playing centre back. That's why I prefer to play Danzo there instead of Romero. And plus, I think
the only other one that I say at the moment, and I know you're not going to like this one, I do think that Andy Robertson is a bang average signing, and I'll give you my reasons why. Right? I'll give you my reasons why. Okay, he's not good. He's not worse. He's just bang average. I think he does. For me, coming in, he doesn't excite me. This is an analogy I was going to put on the show, so it's kind of spoiling it for me now. He's like spinach. No, Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts on your plate. Brussels sprouts on your plate. Yeah. It's good. It's good for you.
It's not.
It's good for you in terms of But just listen to what I'm saying. He's good. It's good to eat. You know what I mean? Because it's healthy for you to eat. But the only time you feel it's good for you is after you've had it a few times. You know what I mean? And then you realise that it's actually very good for you because it helps you in terms of energy and everything else. And I think that's what I think. Look at it with Andy Robertson. I don't know if he's. I'll only start appreciating him after seeing him, maybe seeing how it works, maybe towards the end of the season, and see how it, how it progresses with him, with his leadership, his experience, and whether it helps some of the youngsters we've got at the moment. At the moment, I understand. I'm not criticizing the signing, but I'm not getting excited by the signing. That's why I look at it like a Brussels sprouts for me. You know what I mean? On your plate, you still need your gravy. You still need your rice. You need still your chicken. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, just having your Brussels sprouts makes you feel it's just bang average. You know what I mean? So that's why I say it's not good. It's not worse. It's just bang average.
I think he's significantly better than what we've got. As long as he ain't getting injured, okay, he's come down a peg or two. I'll agree with that. But I think he's significantly better than the Dogie. He's better than Spence. I think he is a better overall player than anyone else we've got who plays on the left. I think he's got a lot more overall as a player. I mean, the other option there is fucking Ben Davies, for God's sake.
No, I tend to agree. Well, this is the problem I have as well, is that we've signed Ben Davies when we've got him. So I don't really get that. But it's just the feeling of what I feel about. I'm not excited by it. It's just like, yeah, great. Let's move on. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not dismissing it completely. That's why I call it bang average. It's not the worst signing. It's not the best signing. It's just the bang average signing. And but I tend to say that I'll start maybe appreciating it, like I say about Brussels sprouts, after eating it for a couple of times over the years. I'll start to appreciate how good it is for me, how good he is for the team over time, maybe. You know what I mean? That's why I say it's a bang average signing. You know what I mean? You know? That's why I'm saying it. You know, I'm not criticizing it, but I'm not going to be jumping up and down about it. No, I'm not. I'm definitely not.
No, I agree with that.
Are we talking about Robertson?
Andy Robertson, yeah.
I mean, that's one you're not too keen on that one, are you? Whereas I think it's a good squad signing for a freebie. I am not complaining in any means or manner. I don't think it's no spectacular game-changing play or whatever, but I think it is. As long as he ain't getting his injuries, I think he is significantly better than anything we have on the left.
He's just, and if he ain't the last 2 years, he's had a massive decline, massive.
But he's still been better than anything we've got on the left.
No, he hasn't. His output has been dog shit. Dan, his output has been horrendous. Listen, this season we'll see, right? Maybe he gets a new lease of life. Maybe he just gets a little perk and But defending one-on-one, he's making more errors now than he's ever done. He hasn't got the pace he used to have. And in terms of assists, it's completely fallen off a cliff. But, like I said...
I agree he's come down, but he is better than what we got.
I don't know.
I'm just looking at his stats now, and they really ain't bad at all. I mean...
What stats are you looking at? Go look at the last 2-3 years. They're shocking.
No, I'm looking at this season. Yeah.
This season, he was injured for a bit of it as well, to be fair to him. He was injured for a bit of it.
But there you go. I've just brought it up there.
Yeah, guys, I have to go. I'll speak to you a lot later, man. I've been coming.
Yeah. See you later, box office.
Yeah.
Now, you look at that. And progressive passes, you ain't getting any better than that. His crosses are still good. His carrying's still good. His aerial's still good. His defensive duels are still significantly better than what we've got. The main one he lacks there, I mean, his assists, they're still light years better than anybody we've got. Everything about him there, apart from
this is the point I'm making.
Is better than what we have. So it is an improvement, surely.
His assists have fallen off a cliff. Mm-hmm. And that possession one, effectively, is in 1v1 situations, he's not the player he was. So from a defensive perspective, he's not the player he was. Listen, we can disagree, right? I don't think this is a good signing, but this season, we will see, right? We'll see how often he plays. We'll see what he does. And then if he gets an uplift, then I'll eat humble pie. But if he doesn't have a good season, I'm going to question why on earth we've signed him.
No, I can understand that.
Because I hate it when we sign players who are coming to the end of their career from bigger clubs, when those clubs are the teams we're trying to catch. And you think, well, if they don't want them anymore, why are we picking up these scraps and thinking we're going to compete with them? I would have liked the Fulham left back.
Yes.
I know he's had a few injury issues, but that's the kind of play I would have gone for.
For his age and that, it would have made more sense. I get that. But if we're just getting him as a sort of, I mean, he's got the homegrown side to him as well, isn't he?
Dan, do you know the problem with Tottenham? When we buy a stopgap, it ends up being a permanent gap.
Yeah,
it's never really.
Like as I say, for a squad player, I've got no problem with it. And honestly, if I've got a choice of, he's my first starter on the left because I think he's better than the Dogie. I mean, what do you really get out of a Dogie? He has not lived up to standard since what I saw of him in of Italy, of what he was capable of.
Dogie's always
another
injured.
Player.
He's another one. He's always injured.
But he's another one. We've never played him the right bloody way either. We've never played him to what he's good at. Again, he's not an out left back. He's better. He's much better at going forward than he is defensively minded. All right, he's better defensive than Porro, but then so are me and you. It's another player that we don't play into his true style, basically. And the amount of injuries he has as well. Spence, all right, good player. Yeah, okay. But if anything, I'd play Robertson on the left and I'd play Spence on the right if I'm going to use my back four as a defence. Because Spence is significantly better than Porro defending. Spence knows how to get forward with a ball, but he don't know what to do with it when he gets forward with it. That's his problem. He can press forward with the ball, but when it comes to the cross or the pass and that, I don't think he's very good at all. I think he's a better right back than a wing back as such.
Spence is clueless in the final third.
He hasn't got a clue. I agree. Whereas Porro has.
Yeah, Porro's very good.
Yeah, so that's why he's more of a wing back. So if I'm going to play with a flat back four and use it as a proper fullback situation, I'm going to start Robertson over Adogi all day long, and I'm going to start Spence over Porro. If I want them to be more defensive than attacking. So in that aspect, you could say Robertson's an improvement. Will we need to improve on him on the following season? Do I want to hang on to him for the next 3 seasons? No, I don't. But the one I don't get is why the hell did we do that with Ben Davies? Robertson was your prime reason to let Ben Davies go to me. Why we hung on to that one, I will never ever know.
I agree. Flat back four, Spence, attacking wing backs, Porro, all day long. I think it's pretty much a no-brainer. There's one player I wanted to ask you about, Dan, because I don't actually know your opinion on this. Oh, by the way, before I bring up this player, smash the like, subscribe, everyone. Make sure you subscribe, smash the like to the Hotspur Hood as well. Just to answer a quick question, I did start this earlier, Gibbo. Thoughts on Balogun? I mentioned Balogun when he was coming out the Arsenal Academy about 3-4 years ago. I was talking about him, and I actually watched him play when he was 15. I like Balogun. I said at the time, I think Arsenal making a mistake. I'm not obviously the Arsenal head of recruitment there, but I would take Balogun at Spurs all day long. That I actually wanted him when he was at. When I knew Arsenal were going to release him. I couldn't believe Arsenal released him, actually, but there you go. I wanted to ask you about this player, Dan.
I know nothing of Balogun. I don't know nothing about him.
Listen, Balogun, I saw him when he was young, and I know the player in there. I know the player that exists. I think he's a good player. What about this guy though? Vuskovic. So some fans are saying he's the next Virgil van Dijk. Others are saying he's only 19. Some are saying, oh, but come on, he's good. This is exactly the kind of a young player at the club we've got to bring through. Others are saying sell him, use the money to reinvest. Where are you at with Vuskovic? I don't know how much you know about him, but what?
Yeah. There's a few ways I can go. There's a few ways I can go for him. I think his biggest problem that we would have at the moment is I don't think he fits into. Not that we know what way he's going to do it, but from how I've seen De Zerbi play, I don't think he fits into De Zerbi's style at all. One thing that fella is not is quick. He's slow, very, very slow. And people would say he's a defender. What does that matter? Well, if you want your defender to be pressing forward and that, he needs a bit of pace. I think he's a good upcoming player. He definitely stood out in Germany and had a good season, but I think it's another thing of what we are definitely terrible at Spurs. Someone has a good season or like a young player stands out a little bit somewhere. Next thing you know, everyone gets extremely excited and it's the next Messi we got there, basically. I don't think he's done nothing to prove that yet. I think he's done something to prove that he's definitely got potential, but he's never even played in the Premier League either. The Premier League is total different standards to Bundesliga. Now, Bundesliga has some very good teams. It's a physical league. It's got a bit of pace to it as well. But it is nowhere near like our league overall, with the difference in the teams they've got there, basically. Because when they start going past 10th place in teams, their teams really aren't good at all. And yeah, he had a good solid season. Do I think he's good enough to come in and walk into this Spurs team? Not a chance. No, not yet. He has done nothing to me to prove that he is good enough for the Premier League. And I don't want to be relying on a bloody 19-year-old again. That's nearly got us relegated over the past 3 seasons, relying on teenagers and that. I don't want to do that. Now, if he comes for us and say, for instance, we get an injury in defence and he plays 4 games straight and has 4 solid games, okay, now let's play you again, and let's see how far you go from there. But I don't think he walks straight into that team. He looks like he's got the potential, but then he's also seeming to have a bit of an attitude on him as well. As a club, a big club, I would have thought you go and put him on loan again to improve him. And then if it comes back and he doesn't particularly want to be here or whatever else, you've given him another season to improve and say he has improved. That's put another 20% on his price tag. So even if he basically wants to go, I think I'd still rather put him on loan. But then if you want something to happen now and we get offered 50 million for him, I say take it and go stick that extra 50 million on top of what we've got for a striker or another midfielder. We need players now, not for 3 years' time. We've nearly just been relegated. This is basically 3 strikes and you're out. 2 seasons, 17. We need players that have got it now. Like a player like Tonali, where he's at that age bit, where he's hitting his peak now. He's got consistency on him. He's played in the Premier League. You know, he knows what he's doing. He's not finding himself. He knows who he is as a player. Vuskovic still needs to find himself as a player. He's only 19. I get that. Same as Gray, same as Bergvall. And I don't want to be relying on that. And with the attitude he seems to have at the moment as well, I don't know. We don't know if it's true what gets said and whatever else, but he does come across like he's got his head stuck up his own arse a little bit. But then we don't know how true it is what they say on the papers and that. But he does come up a bit stuck up himself. So if he wants to be like that, do you know what? Bollocks, 50 mil, sell him. But I think we've got options.
See, so I was on a show with Sava yesterday, and Sava asked the question, if we were offered 50 million for Vuskovic, would you sell him? And I said yes. Sava said yes. And Lubo said no, because he could be worth £100 million one day, so we should wait for that. And I said, well, hold on a minute.
He could guaranteed be worth £10 million next season.
Right. So this is what I was going to ask you guys, right? Big up the Dan list.
Big up.
Would you take a guaranteed 50 million or wait to see if he becomes 100 million? For me, it's a no-brainer. You take the money that's guaranteed because, like you said, what if he ends up being a £20 million player? Then what?
Yeah, I'll take the 50 mil and then try and be cheeky and put a 20% sell-on clause on him. I'll put a 20% sell-on. I'd sell him personally.
What about you, Dan List? By the way, people in the chat that say that I do my streams from a prison cell. Where's Dan then? Is Dan not in a prison cells?
That's cheeky. Evening, everyone. How's everyone?
From
good evening, Dan.
Good.
From your prison cell, right? From your prison cell, Would you take 50 million for Vuskovic, or would you keep him because he's going to be better than that and worth more one day? What's your thinking on that?
I've had enough of this. Waiting for players with potential are going to come good in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or never. I would take the money and run. Honestly, I like what's happening so far. With the signings we brought in, other than Robertson. It's experienced players, ready now players. Tonali, if we get that one over the line, we have fantastic stuff. Yeah, Vukovic, take the money and run. Yeah, I'll take the money. I just fed up with waiting now for these youth projects. This hasn't worked at Spurs for the past God knows how many years, buying players for the future. Then most of them never come good. So, let's try a new approach, I think. And, go for ready now players and see where it takes us.
No, I agree.
Danny, would you sell Vuskovic if we were offered 50 million, or do you think no, he's going to be a world-class talent, the next Van Dijk? Just wait,
No, I would sell him, but I would do what a smart big club does and put like a sell-on fee in the contract or something like this. So or like a release, a buyback. No, you do both. You do a buyback clause, right, and a sell-on percentage, so that if he does come good, and we know Brighton are the club that are going to rip people off with every player they sell, right? If they sell him for big money and he turns out good, then we're still going to get additional money on top of what we're already going to get in the deal to sell him. So for me, it's a no-brainer. If you can do that, £50 million sell-on percentage and buyback, get rid of him. And I agree. Like
50 million straight, I'd just take it. Even just 50 million straight.
You know what, Dan? At this point, I would as well, because the way that he's going on about it, like liking the tweets and all that bollocks, and like thinking he's bigger than his boots. Do you know what? He can go fuck himself. Honestly, like
he is a bit stuck. He does. That's what I said. He does come across like he's got his head up his own arse a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
But then we don't know how true all that is. But yeah, I'd sell him, take the 50 mil. And if we was going to spend 80 million on the striker, we've now got 130 million on the striker, because defensive is not a position that we ain't covered in now, is it?
Yeah, guys, I think that's going to go through. I think it's going to go through, guys. There was more talks, wasn't it? There's more information today, yesterday. It's getting closer, that one. I think that one's going to go.
Tonali's going to happen. 100% it's going to happen.
Wait, 1 minute. Can we go back to Vuskovic a minute? Right.
Yeah,
I just want to throw this into the mix. So when I analysed Vuskovic, I compared him to Kusanov at Man City, who's 21. I compared him to Diomande at Sporting Lisbon, who's 22. And I also compared him to Husin, who is at Real Madrid now, was at Bournemouth, who's 21. So they're all 2 years older than him, minimum. And when I compared them, who are regarded really good young centre-backs, to Vuskovic, nearly every single metric bar one, Vuskovic has had a better season, has improved more than them, and overall was the better defender. I'm not saying he's an ex-Van Dijk and all that. You know me, I don't do all that stuff. But in terms of the season he's just had, he outperformed all of them. And they're all regarded as the next best kind of centre-backs coming through the ranks.
There's definitely potential there. No two ways about it. 100% there's potential there. Same as there is with Simmons, basically.
This isn't another Archie Gray. That's what I'm saying. This isn't another Phillips.
Yeah,
that centre-back we signed and then never saw him again. This isn't another
like you said, I don't know that.
This guy's actually output. There's output with this guy.
He's got potential because he's had a good season. Nothing more. No one would sign him really on what he's capable of now. He's another player that you sign more on potential, because you can't sign him basically on his capability now because he's had one bloody season. You're buying him, you're expecting him to improve over the next 5 to 10 years that he's got in his career. And like we said earlier, and you agreed on that, he goes and plays for us and he can't handle the Premier League and he ends up hardly getting played, or when he does get played, gets totally cooked because he is a very slow player at that as well. Next thing you know, he's not worth 50 million, he's worth 10 million. I mean, if you're going to be honest, for Croatia the other day, I thought he looked shit.
Look, guys,
England had a good first half.
But Dan, you know when you said earlier on that the German league isn't, certainly, we got Berbatov from the German league. We got Heung-min Son from the German league. So is it that bad, the German league? Because we've signed two of our best players in the last 20 years.
German league has got some very good teams. But once you go past, I'd say 8th to 10th place, their teams are pretty irrelevant.
I've got to be honest, Dan, with this argument about the leagues, right? It doesn't matter what league you're from. If you're a good player, you're a good player. It doesn't really matter, right?
No,
I've seen players from the French league. I've seen players from the Eredivisie.
Oh, right.
I've seen players from the German league, the Spanish league, the Italian league, and they might not do well in one, but they might do well in another, right? So
I know,
if you're
some leagues
it's
suit
like
another person more.
Yeah, maybe.
Every
But
league has a different style.
if you're a good player, you can play anywhere. It doesn't matter, right?
No, I disagree.
I don't, because if you're a top player, you can play anywhere, right?
No.
For example, any top player like Bernardo Silva, for example, or David Silva when they came to the Premier League, he could play for any team and he'll still be the same. Any league.
There's players that can do that as well. But
That's what I'm saying. If you're a good player, you can play anywhere.
No, I disagree. There's other
You
very
just
good
agreed with
players
it.
out there. No, I said there's been players out there who can do that. I agreed with that. But there's also very good players out there who just wouldn't be able to handle the Spanish league, but would be better in the English league because of the style of play. There's other players out there who just can't handle the English league, but they'd be very good in Serie A because the style of play, the texture is totally different. There are good players out there who just ain't as adaptable as other good players. Just because you can't adapt to a certain league, it doesn't actually mean you're not a good player. But if that player can't adapt to the league that you want him to play in, then he's not the player you want. Whereas you've got other players, like you said, who can adapt to every league. But there are very good players out there who are totally suited to Italian style or totally suited to Spanish style, whatever. There are players out there who are very good who are just suited to other leagues because of its style of play.
Yeah.
Guys, going
Scott,
back to what... Sorry, go. I was just going to quickly say something.
Go on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just going back to what Dan said. Dan said about playing time, isn't it? Vukovic wants to be playing, doesn't he? First team football, and he's not going to start. There's not enough games. Got better players, and I get it. He wants to play. He wants to move. Totally get it from his perspective.
Yeah, silly.
Like I said, the smart thing is to add a sell-on clause. Even if it's not a buyback clause, they have to have something in there so they can benefit from if something happens, right? That's what any big club would do. The Man Cities, the Chelseas, they all do it when they sell a player who could have that potential, right?
Mm-hmm.
50 million with a 10%, 20% buy on.
I'll take it.
Great. Done. The problem is with him, again, we have Ben Hecka, we just signed, who's a better player than he is now. And he might be great. Vuskovic might be great. But the reality is right now, he's not better than the center backs that we have. He wants playing time and he doesn't want to be loaned. It doesn't seem to me to be much to debate. It seems clear. Sell him. Like you said, put on a sell-on clause with him so you still have a chance to get something out of it and move forward because he doesn't want to be here. And I know that fans like to say, well, he doesn't have a choice. He's our player. But let's be honest. If you have a guy like him and you're ticking him off when he's 19, there's no benefit to have that, right? You don't want a player who doesn't want to play at your club. That's not a good way to build a team. So I think it's pretty clear. We've got Van Hecke, we've got Van de Ven, we got Senesi, 3 solid center backs. Danso I don't love, but for a season to fill in the next year because we're not going to be very good next year. All this silly talk about us being top 4, top 6 is nonsense. We're going to build next year so that we can get there in 2 years' time. That's when it's possible. Danso will fill in. And you move Vuskovic on so that he can get the playing time he wants. You get decent money now. And you don't worry. Like big clubs don't worry about whether a player might be 100 million. Do you think City cares when they're lifting the Premier League title that Palmer is a great player now? No, they don't care because they're winning stuff. Because they don't focus on what could be. They focus on what is and what they have. And we need to start acting like that when it comes to Vuskovic.
I agree.
We've still got Romero, guys. We've still got him. He's not gone.
I think the funniest thing is
I think he's going to be hard to sell. I think
more people want Vuskovic than Romero.
Yeah, I think Romero is not going to be easy to sell. I've said it for 2.5 years.
I'd take 40 million for Romero. I don't give a shit.
Give me 30 million, I'd sell him. I think
Argentina's going to get final, and somebody will buy him because there's always clubs that get excited about the World Cup, right? They'll get to the final,
Barcelona.
They'll be excited, and he'll go. I still think Atletico Madrid makes sense. If Simeone
style of play does make sense.
I know you hate my opinion on this, guys, and that's fine. I would keep Romero and get rid of Danzo all day long.
Mm-hmm.
All day long. Romero is just a much better footballer than Danzo. I think Danzo is technically shit. I think he's technically rubbish.
But in general, overall, he's a reliable player that you get a 6 to 7 out of every bloody game. Whereas Romero,
I've never seen him have a 6 or 7. I've never.
Well, then you need to get some better glasses, mate.
Gladly. He's a reason why we're 7.
When it comes to that one,
and that's what you get.
I've seen him have significantly better games than Romero. I've seen Romero play a 10, then a 2, then a 5, then a 2, then a 9, then a 3, then a 4, then a 10, then another 10, then a 2. He's so inconsistent. He's a liability. That is why. Now, put him on his day. I think Romero is as good as practically any defender out there in that league. I think he's up there on his day, nearly as good as Saliba and Gabriel. Not quite as, but nearly, yeah. But I just don't think he's got the consistency. And when the player hasn't got the consistency, that's like having a striker that you know on his day is world class and can score from the halfway line, but he only does it once every 10 games. You don't want that. You want a consistent player. And to me, Danzo is significantly and proven that he is more consistent than Romero.
Dan,
we don't want consistently poor. That's the problem. I don't.
Dan, let's ask a question to Dan. Dan, would you have Romero as a backup or Danzo as a backup on the bench? What would you prefer? A backup, not the first starter.
Well, it depends who I've got, who the option is that I've got in front of him.
Yes, Van Hecker. He's a starter. So Romero or...
I'd get rid of Romero all day long and have Danzo there.
No, what I meant, Dan, is if you've got to have a backup right centre back, right? So do you have Danzo or Romero?
Danzo. Yeah,
instead of Romero.
Instead of Romero. I'd have Danzo at the club over Romero all day long. The only days Romero proves himself is, yes, in an important game, in a final or a semi-final, but then when it comes to other games where he thinks he's a bit too big for himself or a bit too big for the club or whatever, he plays absolutely shit. Okay, he scored a couple of goals last season, but that only saved his ass for the amount of goals that he bloody screwed up for us. He screwed up just as many as he bloody scored.
Who played well last season, Dan? Who played well last season?
What, overall in the squad? I think there's only
who played well last season for Tottenham?
I think towards the end, your boy Archie Gray. Oh yeah, quality. But okay,
right,
but
Archie Gray. Let's pretend Archie Gray. Who else?
We're not pretending Archie Gray had a good season last year, are we? He was awful.
Mohamed Kudus before he got injured.
Nobody was
consistent.
This is
what I'm saying.
No one was consistently good. No one.
Mohamed Kudus was the best assister in the Premier League before he got injured, by the way, just to say. He was top of the assist league. By 7 assists.
I think, right, if you're going to play football out of the back, you're going to try and keep possession, progress it into the midfield, or look for a longer ball into the flanks for the forwards to latch onto. That is everything Danzo is not, and Romero has got it in his locker. This is why, for me, I'm not. If you said to me up here, Danzo or Romero, Danzo, all day long, Danzo. It's not a competition. But if we're going to play football the deserved way, Danzo's rotten, man. He's so shit.
Danzo for me is good.
We're going to pop the bus.
Centre next to him.
Danzo. We're going to pop the bus. Danzo.
But that's how I play. I want a centre back, a no nonsense centre back, like an old school John Terry.
Yeah, but you're not De Zerbi, Dan. De Zerbi's not going to do that. But De Zerbi's not going to do that, is he?
It's the same thing with Paulinho, guys. People crying over Paulinho not signing. Maybe De Zerbi wants a better player in that position.
You're right. You're right, Dan List. You got a point. It's true.
I do rate Paulinho though, and I do think he's a very good player.
And me. I want Paulinho as well.
I don't think it'd be a bad thing to hang on to him because he's also good when you've got But do you want every player to play the same way? No, you want certain players in the same position to be able to play a different way because there's certain games where you need that midfielder to have a bit of something different. You want to be able to bring on that sub who plays a slightly different way to the other winger as such, because that winger isn't getting it right with his style.
Yeah, but the thing is,
do you get what I'm saying?
The thing is, though, you look at a player like Rodri who plays in the 6. When he's on the ball, the ball keeps moving. When Paulinho's on the ball, he loses it half the time.
Yeah, but Rodri's a world-class player, for God's sake.
I get where Dan List is coming from, because if the prey breaks up,
But if there's a game where you need to sit back more, or all of a sudden you've got 25 minutes left, the pressure's right on you, you can see you're not getting the pressing, then Paulinho is the midfielder you want to bring on instead of someone who's going to push forward all the time. There's going to be certain types in a game where you need a player of the same position to be able to play that position different because you want to change your tactic or your style a bit. Whereas if you've got all players play exactly the same way, then how are you going to change any style of play when you need to go more defensive or more attacking? You need players in the same position that can play that position different.
Yeah, I think Paulinho as like a depth player is perfect, Dan, if that's what you're saying. But I just think we've seen, whether people like it or not, the reality is the top teams, every player on the pitch can play with the ball now. Whether we like it or not, that's the reality of the top teams. You have to have better ball playing skills if you're going to be a main player for one of the top teams. So if we want to get to be a top team, I think Paulinho, love him as, like you said, you bring that guy on, even in a certain games, if you're playing against the top teams and you say Paulinho is going to start for this game, perfect. But I don't think we can have Paulinho in our midfield, especially with De Zerbi playing 35 games a season. I think it limits us to how well we can be. But he's brilliant. Yeah, if he's willing to stay.
Scott,
brilliant.
Do you not think Archie Gray would be a good player to have in the squad, and Bergvall would be a good player to have in the squad because of they could actually learn things from players like let's say Tonali or Matías Fernandes. I know Matías Fernandes is young, but they're a higher level. So do you not think like having them would actually be really worth?
Danny, the bullshit
I don't think
rumors.
so for a couple of reasons. One, because we don't have time to play them. Like, when are they going to play? I think at their age, they need to be play. Maybe you could argue one, maybe, but certainly not both, because there's just not enough time. I think Gray especially Gray needs to go somewhere. And if he's going to be a 6, he's got to go and be a 6 for a season. If he's going to be the 8 that's running the show, he's got to go somewhere where he's going to play that for 35 games a season. 90
Gray's
minutes.
not a 6 in any means or manner. He's
but you know, Dan,
midfielder, and he's no ball playing defense. He's no ball play deep line playmaker either. The most you're going to get out of Gray is maybe an 8 pressing forward. You are not going to get no bloody 6 DM out of him. Never in a million years. Not in my opinion.
Well, I didn't get anything out of him.
I think Bergvall is a very good talent, man. He's someone I would want to keep.
Danny, what does he do well, Bergvall? What has he impressed you? I haven't seen anything really.
The kid has got a football brain. You can see it. If you watch him, he's one step. Look at how he scans the field when he's on the pitch, right? The problem with Bergvall, right, is that he's been too focused on, again, because we've had limited options in the midfield, right? Bergvall is someone who you have to keep bringing into it, easing into it with quality players around him. Look at the fucking shit he's had around him. He's had crap. So I just don't understand why Scott, for example, you don't see that Bergvall's a good player, has got something in him because
you said he scans the pitch and makes the wrong decision every time.
He doesn't make the wrong decision.
Like, you watch him, he always makes the wrong decision. Runs into defenders, passes to nobody. Like, he looks around and makes the wrong decision every time. That's why I don't see it.
But look at Sweden today. Even when he came on, they actually started playing better. They started playing better.
No, they didn't. He was terrible.
No, he came on. He scored a goal. No,
exactly. They scored a goal. He actually improved.
He didn't touch the ball when he scored.
One minute.
Well, he must have touched the ball if he scored it.
Wasn't he part of the goal? Did he assist the goal? Didn't he? I thought he assisted the goal. No?
Not today. No.
Or he was the assister of the assister. The what do you call it?
I don't even think he was that.
Pre-assist.
Pre-assist, yeah.
That's like the goalie got the assist to the assist to the assist of the assist because he played it out to the centre back. And
I generally don't understand why you wouldn't want to keep someone like Bergvall, because we can't get rid of every single youngster we have in the squad, because it's just not going to happen, because you can't have a squad full of.
Can I put an argument up? Can I put an argument here, right? By the way, Alex, I'm only having 6 on maximum. So I said the same to Adam, who wanted to come on. So if someone drops off, I'll bring you in. I'm not doing it on purpose, because otherwise no one can hear anyone talk. So this is my thinking, right? And this has always been my argument. With youngsters, the most important thing for them to develop is game time. If they don't go backwards,
I agree.
They'll keep stalling.
I think my internet's degrading as well. I think my internet's gone backwards.
You know what, Danny? If you want to keep him and loan him, it's not. I'd have more faith in Bergvall and Gray, but I don't see anything. Like I said, I don't see anything. So
but look,
I would rather move him out and get players that actually can do something.
Danny, look at the difference. This guy said in the comments he wants Alex Scott, but then he's like, I don't want fucking Bergvall, and they're the same players.
Right now, Alex Scott is a far better and ready.
Mate, Alex Scott is so much better, bro.
Alex Scott
No, I'm not saying better or not. I'm just saying like you can get an Alex Scott out of Bergvall if you develop him well.
Wait, can I finish my point because my internet's playing up?
Yeah.
For me, the only way, and it's not just Bergvall, Gray, Tell, Odebert, Phillips, Yang, Spang, Pang, whoever we've signed, I don't give a shit. If they don't get regular minutes, they will not get better. They simply won't. They'll end up going backwards. So my question is this: if we keep Bergvall, what position is he going to play? Who is he going to keep out the squad? And where is he going to get the minutes to develop? Because if he's not going to get those minutes, keeping him is going to make him worse.
Well, saying that, still, it's a loan, isn't it? Then, there's been links that clubs are in for him, but I don't really believe that. Look, he's not going to play. Let's be honest here. He's not going to play next season, so he needs a loan, doesn't he? If the club are going to stick with him, he needs a loan. He needs to play first.
Yeah, I agree with Scott. Go on, Dan. Sorry, mate.
He's another one that you keep him for the cup games, basically, or whatever, or you keep him for a squad. I mean, personally, if you're a big club, I'd say stick him out on loan. But if you give me the choice of him or Gray, I'd pick him over Gray. I think he's got more potential than Gray, basically. Gray, for me, is a championship player at best.
I liked Bergvall when we signed him. I thought he was a tidy player pre-season. I thought this is a good little player. But the problem I've got now is he's not going to get the game time. He's going to turn to. I saw this with Winks, right? Winks came through the academy. I remember watching him in the academy. He was dynamite. He was a cracking player. And then he broke into the starting team. Poch gave him minutes and he was doing well. Then he got an England call up. And I'm thinking, do you know what? This is a player in the making here. He got the injury. Eriksson took his place. And then we tried to make him into a number 6 and he was a disaster. And from there on, he's gone to shit. He's absolute crap now. This is going to happen to Bergvall. The same thing's going to happen. And to all these youngsters, the same thing's going to happen because they're not going to get that starting role.
Okay. Right. So I'm going to counter the argument, right, with a different player. Kingski deserves to start. And we're all talking about if a youngster needs the progression, right, to actually have the minutes, why not give Kingski the minutes?
Right. Danny,
he isn't good.
You're right. No, you're right. No, Danny, no, I agree. Hold on. I agree. Except there's one.
Kingski's going to become a top class goalkeeper.
Agree.
One second. Wait, I agree with Danny. I agree, but there's one difference. Kinski has got hardly any competition for his position, whereas Bergvall, there's about 4 or 5 players we could play. That's the problem, isn't it?
Stel, so would you be happy then? Because for me, right, I think if you look at Kinski, right, for him to have what happened to him at Madrid in the Madrid game and then come back and then be instrumental in people cannot say that he can't play under pressure because keeping Spurs in the Premier League is one of the most pressurizing things a player can go through. Playing for a club of that size, and he was outstanding, right?
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. If it wasn't for him, Scott, we wouldn't be in the Premier League.
Scott,
no, if it wasn't for
West Ham, very well.
He won us some points.
No, Scott. Scott.
He won us some. He got us some points.
He was instrumental.
Where does Bergvall play? What position?
Bergvall's at 8.
Don't know.
No, we don't really know. That's the truth of it.
Right. Let's say he's an 8. If we sign Tonali, when is Bergvall going to play for Tottenham?
Well, you can you can still play Tonali and Bergvall and don't play with the 10.
He
don't
can
have to
compete
play
with
with the
Kinski
10.
for the goalkeeper.
1 minute. So we're going to play Bergvall in the 10.
No, you don't have to play 10. You can still play 2 number 8 and 1 6. You don't have to play 10. Or you can play.
How did De Zerbi play? How did De Zerbi play? That's the
De Zerbi
big question.
changes. He can play. He plays a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 or 3-5-2. He changes every time. Like he doesn't have a fixed formation.
1 minute. Who's playing in the 6?
No, right now, I don't know who's going to be the 6 until the window ends. That's when I'm going to give you an answer.
Benson Core at the moment.
Probably Benson Core. Yeah, probably.
Look,
So we're
And
going
of course, the
to.
only DM we had for ages. And I've
So
told
1 minute.
everyone
So 1 minute. So we're going to 1 minute. Hold on. Let me get this right in my head. We're going to play Tonali and Bergvall and drop Maddison.
No, I never said that we're gonna do that for the whole season. I'm just saying there's some games you might play Bergvall.
What game would you drop Maddison for?
Well, if we play against like Coventry, I would play him. I would drop Madison, and Madison only is fit for 1/3 of the season.
I was about to say.
So you're not gonna have Madison for the year.
So Xavi Simmons is fit.
Xavi's back in. He's back in January, so you don't have a number 10 right now.
Mohamed Kudus.
Kudus is still injured.
10.
And who's gonna play right wing? Who's gonna play right wing?
That's
Who's gonna play right wing? Well, there you go. So instead of putting players out of position like Kudus, you leave him on the wing, and then you can
so
put
basically, what you're saying is you would keep Bergvall and play him really in the 10. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, until we get a proper, let's say, I'm just giving a fantasy land. If we get, let's say, Adam Wharton, then I can say, yeah, he needs to go on loan. But right now, you should not be sending him on loan or selling him right now.
Why not sell him and buy a better player?
Well, we're not. Who are you gonna get? I'm telling you, for me, selling Bergvall or selling Vuskovic is gonna be a big mistake. That's just my opinion.
Playing them is a big, or Bergvall playing him, we saw last year, is a big mistake.
Well, why was it a big mistake?
Because when they were dropped,
he was overwhelmed, and we played like shit when he was there.
No, the only reason we stayed up because one of the big reasons Romero was not there. Another reason Vicario was benched. And another reason why we stayed there because we play like mostly defensive football. On the Deserbi, we're not playing Deserbi football.
None of that is Bergvall, though.
All right, so there's news at the moment that Spurs are going to try and sign Fernandes from West Ham, right? If we get Tonali and Fernandes, are we saying that's it? Bergvall's done?
Potentially.
Well, he's not going to get in there over them. Do you know what? I honestly don't.
That's what I'm saying. We're going to drop Maddison and we're going to drop Fernandes so we can play Berg. I don't see a world where this happens, especially when De Zerbi came into the club and said, right, 1 minute. De Zerbi came into the club and said, we're getting relegated. I can't have this. All the youngsters out. And we stayed up. Is he now going to go into a new season saying, right, youngsters, you're back in? I don't know. I don't think he's going to do it.
No.
I don't think he's going to do it.
Well, especially the way he said he wants senior pros. So then, I do want to come on to the keeper situation because, though, you mentioned a good point, and I really want to understand Scott's view of why he hates Kinski so much. Because for me,
I don't hate him that much. I don't think he should be a number. If we bring in another keeper, he's number 2. I love it. Great.
No, but
I don't
why
like
would
him
you
as
spend
a number 1 keeper at the club?
Why? Because De Zerbi wants him as the number 1 keeper.
Because I have not seen anything from him at any point that makes him a number 1 keeper. So if you want to send him on loan, he goes on loan for a season and gets 35 games and shows it. Great.
In his defense,
he hasn't.
In his defense, yeah. Now, me personally, I would rather have. I mean, give me the choice. Give me some serious money. I'd go for Roma's goalkeeper all day long, or I'd go for Diego Costa, someone like that. Yeah. But I don't think goalkeeper is the prime thing we need to look at. We need to look at that strike force. Is Kinski my first choice? Yes, he is over Vicario because Vicario for me,
Vicario's gone. I assume Vicario's
gone. But Kinski has definitely proven he has got a very strong mentality. He impressed me for some of the saves he made. He impressed me for the games he did play because after that absolute tits up in the Champions League, anyone would have put their money down, and most people, including me, did say career over. He came back on now, and especially at his age as well, because he ain't, what is he, 21?
23.
Yeah, okay, so he's not a kid, not at all, yeah? But that still took some strong mentality to be able to do what he done. A lot of other players, especially goalkeepers, would have been lucky if they even saw the pitch again. All right, it was lucky he saw it because of injury, but when he came on, even if Vicario did come fit, Kinski took that place. So Kinski for me starts over Vicario all day long. I don't think goalkeeper with Kinski being there is the first choice thing I need to improve.
We've got so many other areas.
Yeah, exactly. I want a left. I want a
right.
That's a
different conversation, though, right?
Yeah, but that's why. No, it's not because the reports are saying that Kinski is going to be given the chance as number 1, and if they're going to sell Vicario, they're going to bring in a keeper to compete with Kingski for the number 1, but Kingski will be the number 1. And for me, I actually really like that because I like Kingski. I think he's got a lot of potential, and I think he's good enough for playing week in, week out in the Premier League.
But that is a difference. If you say we're going to focus on so many other things so that we have, like, if we're getting a proper left wing, two proper midfields, proper striker, so we don't have enough to get Kinski, to replace Kinski, I can accept that. But if you're saying we shouldn't even think about another keeper, because Kinski, who played 7 games 2 years ago in the Premier League and 6 games last year in the Premier League, and the 7 games he did 2 years ago sucked, I don't think he's shown that he can be a number 1 keeper. But if you say we have to address everything else so we can't afford to spend on it, okay, that's the reality of football. That's where I am.
No, I think they will. I think they will get a keeper if Vicario goes. I don't think they'll get a keeper like an elite keeper. They'll get another player of a similar age, right, who's a similar level, and they will compete because they're not going to want to spend 50, 60 million pound on a keeper. They're just not going to do it.
Yeah, and that's because we're addressing other issues. Fair enough. Dan.
Yeah,
I don't mind that. What I don't think is to say, we're fine. Kinski's a number 1 level. I said it in the
next season. I don't
think there's a team that finished in front of us this year that Kinski's better than their keeper.
But
the 15 teams that finished ahead of us, I don't think he's better than any of those keepers.
You don't know that, though, because he hasn't had a chance yet.
I do believe Kinski.
There's no reason, but nobody knows.
I think Kinski can be a next top keeper. I haven't felt. I honestly, genuinely, in that run-in, if Vicario was there, I would have been so fucking nervous every game with Vicario because the amount of mistakes he would have made. With Kinski, even when I was in the stadium, I did not feel nervous once because Kinski, his distribution on both feet is brilliant, right? He's so good on both feet, right? His throwing ability, he's getting better at reading the corners and stuff like that, and he commands his area a lot better than Vicario does. And his shot stopping is actually looking, and reflexes looked fucking good in the last 7 games. Some of those saves he made was unbelievable. It kept us in the game, and it
which
kept
ones?
Us the
lead save was great.
Yeah, but those and the last kick of the game of Wolves when we beat Wolves 1-0, the last kick of the game. That's a top save. No, it's not. If that goes in, we get relegated. If that goes in, we get relegated.
Yeah, I'm with that.
If that goes in, we get relegated, Scott.
No, we're 2 points ahead of West Ham. So then it would have been a tie. We would have been ahead of them on goal differential. But
this is going to go into the argument of why we didn't get relegated, isn't it? I can feel it.
What do you think, Dan? I want to see what you think, actually. And
I don't think I'll get. It's a good save, not an amazing save. That's all. It's not that big of a difference.
It was amazing.
Okay, look, guys. If it's fantasy football championship manager, yeah, of course, we'd go and get a top keeper. We'll go and get 2 top left wingers, 2 top strikers, 2 top 8s, 2 top 6s. But come on. We've got to be realistic, haven't we? We're not going to fill all these positions in this window. Priorities for me, Kingski, I'm willing to give him a chance. And we need to invest seriously in other areas, more urgent, I think.
I agree.
I think you're wrong, Scott.
Yeah, I would rather go and get a better goalkeeper. I know the 2 goalkeepers I want. I would rather get a more established goal. I want Roma's goalkeeper or Diego Costa.
Who's Roma's keeper again?
I can't pronounce his bloody name. Go check it up and you might be able to pronounce it. I can't pronounce his bloody name. Shevsky. Terrible at pronouncing foreign names. But Roma's goalkeeper is the one I want to go for. The one Chelsea are looking at as well. But I think we have positions which are more important to improve.
Sevilla. Miles Sevilla, that one?
Yeah. I think Kingski could cover it. He wouldn't be my first choice, basically, but I think he could cover it because I think more importantly, we need a striker. We need a left winger. I think we need a number 10. I think there's more important places to cover, and I think he could hold that for the season, and then we go out and get the bigger keeper.
I am 100% agree with you there, Dan. I agree. Yeah. That I'm fine with that if that's the thinking. No problem with that, Dan.
But if I've got 50 million left at the end of the season, then I'd want to go for a quality keeper.
Do you know what? I honestly
100%.
believe, and you can call me deluded if you want, but I honestly believe he's going to be our number 1 for many years to come. I think he's going to show how good he is next season.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
With De Zerbi as well as the coach, the way that he improves players and how he gets... He reminds me... De Zerbi reminds me of what Poch did with some players that we had, right? And he made them start believing. Like he's making this US team believe in their ability, right? And in themselves. right? I see the same kind of traits that he has, that De Zerbi has and Poch has, where he makes them believe, and he'll get an extra 30-40% out of them, and he actually knows how to coach the players, so he'll improve them technically as well, right? So I actually believe Kingsley has got the potential to be a top keeper, and I think he's going to show people how good he is next season. Personally,
there's potential there, definitely. I mean, he can deliver. He's definitely.
I know Scott don't agree.
Better than delivery. No, but it's each their own at the end of the day.
I want to see it. Like Daryl Denton said, hope. We hope he just turns into a number one. Fans love hope. I just want to see something that makes me believe it. I hope he becomes the greatest goalkeeper that ever lived. But if I don't see something to make me believe it, I can't just hope because he's a Spurs player.
But at the moment, he has earned his place to be the Spurs goalkeeper because it is not the prime position we need to improve.
Agree.
Guys, can I quickly just do a super chat because it's been sitting there. I missed it earlier on. I just want to quickly read it. By the way, Adam, thank you for becoming a channel member. Appreciate it. I'm going to add you to my WhatsApp group. So whenever I post a link to the show, you'll be in the group to jump on. And thanks for the super chat as well. Danzo, not good enough. What are we doing here? Are you saying he's not good enough, or are you questioning me for saying it? Which one is
no,
it?
he thinks Danzo is good enough.
You.
He's saying that like we're wrong for saying Danzo isn't good enough. Which is
fair enough. Listen, I think most fans like Danzo. I just dislike the fact he's technically awful
because he tries hard, and fans love trying hard. And then you look at Liverpool; they don't have a Danzo. City don't have a Danzo. Arsenal don't have a Danzo.
No, they do. A lot of them have a no-nonsense centre back, and that's how they play. He's a no-nonsense centre back. He's not flashing any, and a majority of the time, high majority of the time, you see a consistent player.
Dan, do you know what
he's not up and down and all over the place? But
do you know what my issue is?
No, he's not. He's not technically gifted.
Do you know what my issue with Danzo is? Do you know what my issue with Danzo is, right? I know how De Zerbi's going to play. And against Brighton, it was Danzo fucking around with the ball at the back that allowed Brighton to get the equaliser against us. That's going to happen a lot more with Danzo when we're playing it out from the back as often. And it's these players that are going to cost us. It's not going to be...
Who do you think could cost us more, Danzo or Romero?
Playing it out from the back, it'll be Danzo all day long.
You think?
In terms of,
I don't think so.
Because we played it out
day long.
How long Romero has cost us?
No, Romero's a fucking liability. He's a disgrace. Worst captain I've ever seen at Spurs.
1 minute.
Fuck him off. I can't wait till he goes.
Danny, 1 minute.
I cannot wait till he goes.
1 minute. Hold on. The question was costing us at the back, right? If you're talking about a hothead, a red card, a rash tackle, right? I get it. Then you're right. I agree with you. I said earlier on, up here, Danzo's better. But the way we're going to play, where we're going to be, you're going to see the ball being played across the goal. And people
one's
say, no,
disputing that, though.
Yeah, but this is where Danzo's going to be a nightmare. There's a reason we've signed Senesi and Van Heck. It's because they do that for fun.
Yeah, no, of course. But no one...
Otherwise, Danzo would get the spot. Whereas if we are going to play those balls, I'd rather Romero do it than Danzo. That's my argument. I think we should sell Romero personally. But if you said to me Danzo or Romero in a De Zerbi team, Romero.
If you go and put them, I personally believe if you go and put them to their 38 games in a season and you rate every game between a 1 and 10, by the end of the season, I think Danzo will have more points than Romero. Because Romero is just so inconsistent and the gap is so massive between what he does from a bloody 9 to a 2, whereas Danzo, you'll see a 7 to a 5 at the most. And usually you'll see a 6, 7 out of him game by game, a 6.
Since we signed Danzo, we finished 17th twice.
Mm-hmm. And since we signed Romero,
Romero, we finished 4th, we finished 5th, we won a European. I believe that the football we're going to try and play under De Zerbi, Danzo is going to look.
You know what the problem you've got is
we're not going to play that pragmatic football that makes Danzo look really good.
The problem
if we're going to sit back and do low block, Danzo, but we're not going to do that, are we? We're not going to play that football. This is what I'm saying.
But listen, the problem you've got is that Romero does not want to be at the football club, right? And he has clearly shown that last season by his disgraceful performances as a captain. Like, he is a fucking disgrace. I've never seen a more disgraceful Spurs captain in my life, right? Honestly. So just on that basis, I'd get rid of him because he is toxic, right? I don't care about his mentality in finals and stuff like that. We all know what his ability is like when it comes to a crunch match like that in a final, right? He's the player you want to have. But throughout the season, if he can't perform at that level, you're never going to get the Romero you need and you want if you're going to be up there challenging all the time, because he's going to throw his dummy out the pram every time something little something happens, or he gets annoyed at something, and the other problem, like Danny always says, is that he's made a name for himself, right, on tackle. So referees target him, right? They target him. Unfortunately, they do, right? He has the tackle, right, with a high stud, he gets red carded. Anyone else, like fucking Gabriel or anyone else, it's a yellow card. But with him, it's a red card, right? And he had, how many games did he miss this season? He missed 7 or 8 games from suspensions. That is a fucking disgrace. He's more of a liability still, right, than someone you can rely on. And the best availability is reliability, right? And with Danso, he's always available. He's always available. And he's not going to be the starting centre-back. He's going to be the player that comes in for a couple games here or there if players are injured. And he's the type of player you want in your squad because he's happy to be that player still. He doesn't need to play every game.
Of course he's happy because he's shit and no other club would sign him.
He's not shit.
Ben Davies.
Ben
Davies is happy at Tottenham because no club would sign Ben Davies. They're all happy at this club.
But Danso is not a shit player. He's not a shit player still.
For a De Zerbi style of play, he stinks.
How do you fourth choice center back? He can be okay.
Guys, if Mourinho or Conte,
he's not going to be our starting centre back. Still,
if Mourinho or Conte were manager,
Senesi,
I'd say
Van der Ven. I know, but listen, we've got Senesi, Van der Ven, and Van Hecker, right? They're all going to start in front of him. If you need to bring him in for a couple of games to rotate here or there, right? Or if you get an injury, he's good enough to do a job with the players around him.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Do you know De Zerbi, guys?
Go on, Dan, listen.
De Zerbi's already said he can't pass how he wants. He said it openly to him last season. He says he's got to improve.
Do you know what, Dan? Which is why I believe they will not sell him this summer. But I reckon, like you were saying earlier, Dan, that they can't get rid of everyone in one window, right? Mm-hmm. So we all know still. I think if we're all fucking intelligent enough to realize that he can't play in a De Zerbi system because of the passing ability and he's not technically good enough, right? But we cannot change everything in one window. So for this season, he's going to be that player who's going to be a rotation player.
Yeah, but you know what I would do?
Next season, then you might have to change him.
See, this is why, if it was down to me, Danzo would be gone and Vuskovic would be my fourth choice.
Vuskovic wants to play still. He doesn't want to sit on the bench.
No, but at least he's in the squad. At least he's got
Still. Vuskovic has openly said not openly, but it's assumed because of what's been happening, he wants to play first team football. I've said this so many times in your own chat.
Which is why you got to keep Romero then.
Oh my God. These players don't want to be at Spurs.
We sat here for 5 years under Poch complaining whenever Alderweireld or Vertonghen got injured that Ben Davies and Dyer, the drop-off was massive because they couldn't play this type of football. We're about to do the same if we keep Danzo. I'm telling you. It's going to be the same thing that happened with Poch. Oh, shit, Senesi's injured. In comes Ben Davies. We're fucked. Oh, shit, Van Heck's injured. In comes Danzo. We're fucked. Now we can't play football anymore. This is what happened to Poch's team. Whenever we had an injury,
that's why we should replace him in 2 years. Not this year still. Like I don't want Danzo either, but we keep him this year and then next summer when that's the time to replace Danzo.
If we get into the Champions League, then you
can because this year we're not going to do much anyway. So this is a building year. So keep Danzo for this year because again, if you said who do I want to play? Romero or Danzo? Romero, 100%. Who do I want to be the fourth choice center back? Danzo. Because Romero isn't going to be happy. He's going to be
neither Vuskovic.
Neither's Vuskovic. Yeah. No. Danzo, the fourth choice right back, he can come in and fill that role because he isn't going to have to play that much. Because we're going to go out after a game or two in the FA Cup, a game or two in the Carabao Cup. We're not going to have many games this year.
Look, Romero
so we won't have to do much.
Too inconsistent. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to have consistency on you. And the thing is with Romero, okay, he might satisfy his missus one night, but he's got to do it many other nights. And if he don't do it, she's going to fuck off elsewhere and get it because he don't do the job consistently. Simple as that. He does not do it. Just because you produce it once out of every 10 times, they ain't hanging around. You need consistency. Well, in my lifestyle,
the problem is as well. The problem is, right, is not just that, Dad, is when you're building a squad, the one of the key things, right, which any top winning team has is unity between within the squad, right? If you've got a squad that's got too many top players, right, and you're not keeping them all happy, it creates friction within the dressing room. It creates friction within the club or within the training, right? So someone like Danso is the exact type of person you need as like the fourth choice centre back. He is perfect for it because he's not gonna play all the time. And the only time Danso would play a run of games is if you have a shock where you've got three of your four centre backs out for like 3 or 4 months. That's when it's a problem. Right.
And the other thing is with Danso, you're going to get 100% out of him every game. Whereas Romero, you get games where you're lucky if you get 25% out of him.
Definitely.
That's too inconsistent. Romero is the most overrated player ever at Tottenham Hotspur, in my opinion.
If Danso comes on next season, misplaces a pass and the opposition scores, I am going to call an emergency podcast show. It's going to go on for 5 fucking hours, and I'm going to just spend 5 hours cussing him, his family, his school, his town, his village, everything. I'm going to just rip him, right? And I want you.
Well, we know that's going to happen.
I want you all here, and I'm going to do the whole show. And I'm going to do the whole show wearing a Romero mask, like Cundy does, with an Ange mask on TalkSport. I'm going to get one of them sock Romero.
Yeah, Romero. He's just. I haven't liked the player for over two and a half years now. For me, he's just not the mentality of a player you want. He's not the sort of person you want at your club. He's got his head so far stuck up his own arse he can smell yesterday's dinner. Everything about him, I can't stand him as a player. On his day, like I said, he is as good as most players in that league, defenders. There's only a couple that are better. But he just has lack of days, and you don't want that.
I think he's going to go to another club, and he's going to be everything he was at Atlanta, everything he was at.
Go stick him in Italy.
Argentina. I think it's a Spurs Romero problem more than a Romero problem.
He's
think
the
he
only
doesn't
player
like to be here. I don't think he likes it all because you never saw that when he was at Atalanta. He wasn't that style of player. For the season,
but he was still proving a name for himself, Scott. Romero has now won a World Cup and thinks he's got bigger bollocks than everybody else when he blatantly hasn't.
Well, I think
when he was at Atalanta, he had something to prove.
I think he has bigger bollocks than Spurs. So if he goes to Atlanta at Atletico Madrid, I don't think he's going to have that same attitude that he's too big.
I think he will. I think he's going to change. I think he's not going to change. It's his character.
I think but he doesn't do that when he goes to play for Argentina, Danny. He doesn't think he's too big for Argentina now.
Yeah, but Argentina is different, isn't it? It's his country. He loves.
Yeah, but Atletico is different than Spurs, right? So we'll see. He might. Maybe that's
maybe. Yeah, maybe.
You don't call him out, right? But he's the only player that properly called out this board for what they were in January. He's the only one that proper called them out. And I remember some of you here were calling out Romero for doing that. Now it doesn't look too shabby what he did. He was the only one that came out and said, "This board, what the fuck? Like really?"
Okay. Well done. But then if he still
Allison, quiet.
He did that and then got a red card the next day, didn't he?
But if he still plays shit, it makes it pretty much irrelevant.
Exactly.
Okay, well,
he got a red card the next day.
Tell you what, I'll take you down the pub and get you a fucking point. But if you're going to screw up 5 games for me,
there's bigger issues than him getting a red card. When we signed Sousa and we signed Gallagher and that was it, and that almost cost us relegation. He was the one that was warning everyone, saying this is ridiculous. He was. Listen, I think there's agendas when it comes to Romero, right? I think you either hate him or you're a bit more sympathetic. I'm more sympathetic to him, personally speaking.
He divides opinion.
I think I'm more sympathetic still, but I think when I agree, he called out the board, great for him. But I also think that means then he has to go. Like he can't stay at Spurs. I can love that he called out the board and say, so now you have to go. Now you have
It's
to
just
go.
the way the system works, isn't it? It's
can't
just the way
stay
it
here
works.
after
That
you've
is a
done
point. I like the way he called it out, but it weren't his place to do it.
See, so
I
this
like
is
it
what
that he did it.
this is exactly what I mean. This is, you either hate him or you're sympathetic. So Romero calling out the board was pathetic.
No, do you know what the problem is, Stel?
But this is a good example of how the fans are split. So Michael here, this doesn't like the fact that he did that. Yet by the end of the season, every fan was going after the board. It got so bad that Vinay, Charrington, and the Lewis family all had to put out public statements. Why? It wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't pathetic.
But my guess is Michael actually doesn't have a problem with the board. I bet you if you look at him, like a lot of the people who are criticizing it, like they don't have a problem with the board. So
I
like
like
Adam-
what he done. I like what he done, but if we're going to be technical here, and just the way it is, whether we agree with it or not, but sometimes it is what it is. He should have kept his mouth shut. If you're going to be technical about it and the way it should be done, even though there's a lot of things you should be able to do, like leaving your car door open and you can't. It's just the way it is. He should have kept his mouth shut, been professional as the captain, and done what was right for the team and everything else and that, and stood by the team. But he also, some of us, like me, I do like what he did, calling the ball out, because we wanted someone to do it. But on the technicality side, it wasn't his place to do it.
Also,
it's a bit
Dan,
of a 50-50 with me.
Also, it also not just that, right? It's the fact that he's putting in absolute fucking disgraceful performances as a captain.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that's why the fans didn't like it, but it's because if he was our best player and putting his heart out, wearing his heart on his sleeve, right? And playing with his heart on his sleeve, week in, week out, right? I could understand it, right? I'd understand it a lot more. But the fact is, the day after that fucking statement came out, he fucking got a red card against, was it Man United?
Exactly.
Literally the day after.
Didn't he get two?
What's going to do more favors?
Yeah, or something like this, yeah.
What's going to do more favors for us?
Yeah, but that red card was so harsh, man. Everyone said it as well. It was a harsh red card.
But that's his fault. That is his fault. He got the mud on
his
face.
How's it his fault if he's getting a harsh red card?
He's got a reputation, isn't he?
When you've got a reputation and got...
No.
It is his fault.
Whose fault is it? He gave himself
fault.
the reputation.
So Gabriel makes just as many ranked tackles. He doesn't get booked.
Yeah, but he's made a name for himself of being this aggressive defender who
he's a target.
He's been targeted. He's been targeted.
I'm not saying this
because of his own actions, though.
Exactly. It's just it is what it is.
What do you want then? A pussy at centre back or someone that's going to have it out? At least he has it out.
I want Dietrich. He's a pussy.
This is wild to me. This is wild to me. This fan base is so clapped. This is, on the one hand, we want to call out Romero. On the other hand, I get why we kept Ben Davies. He wants to be a coach. What the fuck are we talking about?
I just don't. I want Romero gone no matter what he done because I don't rate him.
Yeah,
Forget what he gone and done with a board. I don't care. Yeah, well done for saying it. Fair play, whatever else. But I couldn't give him monkeys. I don't like the player. I don't think he's good enough. Why? Because he has got no consistency on him. If he was a consistent player, we'd have one of the best defenders in Europe.
Who's consistent at Tottenham, Dan?
Well, aren't we meant to be making ourselves better? So we get consistent players. So he has to go.
But your argument is he's not consistent. So I'm pushing back. Who is consistent then?
Danzo is more consistent than Romero.
Yeah.
One. Who else?
Van der Ven is more consistent than Romero.
Van der Ven got slagged off all last season. Van der Ven had a bust up with the players.
At least he got half a season right.
Van der Ven
we're not talking about that. We're talking about consistency. That's a whole different.
Are we doing consistent or more consistent than
you asked me on about who's been more consistent? Van der Ven has been more consistent.
I'm asking who's been consistent at Tottenham for us to dig out Romero for being inconsistent.
Romero's been inconsistent for 3 seasons.
Has he? For 3 seasons?
Yes.
I don't know about that. We finished fifth 2 seasons ago. He wasn't inconsistent.
Yeah, and he was still pretty inconsistent in then as well.
No. This is agendas now. This is agendas for me.
I know my gender. Don't worry about that. When it comes down to it,
when we finished 5th, fans weren't complaining. I don't remember a
I
single
was.
fan that was moaning when we finished fifth, Dan.
I've been moaning about him from day.
When we finished fifth, a lot of fans were saying we're excited, we've got our Tottenham back, we're going to cook, blah, blah, blah. It was only last season, 2 years ago, when the wheels came off under Ange, and then this season, all the big moans have happened, in my view. And Romero has been targeted because he's... listen, maybe he has put
I've just never rated him.
Maybe... Yeah, but I don't rate Adogi. I don't rate...
Nor do I.
What's his name? Danzo.
But
I
Romero's
don't
meant to
rate
be the
most of our
captain.
midfielders, but yet they get away with it, and we all go after Romero.
Romero is the captain and the one that you want that you expect the consistency of. Plus, he's meant to be this World Cup winning player. Plus, he thinks he's too big for the club. Plus, we don't like the attitude he's got and everything. I like the aspect that he's willing. You know what? If he was like a Roy Keane, I'd be more than happy with him. Be a fighter, have an attitude, have this and that, but have the attitude and some consistency and want to do it for the club. He's got the attitude for himself because he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got no consistency on him. Yes, I like the way he's got a fight in him. Yes, I like the way he's willing to get stuck in. Okay, it's going to cost us a card now and again. But again, he's got no consistency. He doesn't do it because he wants to do it for the club like Roy Keane used to and that. He's just a wrong un. He's just no good for your club.
Mate, Roy
He's
Keane,
inconsistent.
Roy Keane played next to Paul Scholes, Beckham and Giggs. Romero's played with every donkey in the fucking world that this club has signed.
I am using them two
look who he's
because they're
played
the same
next to.
sort of
Archie
person.
Gray, Pape Sarr, a busted Bentoncourt, Danzo, Adogi when he's fit, Ben Davies.
Stick Roy Keane next to any midfielder and he'll still stand out.
Vicario, who can't pass the ball. How many times Vicario put us in the shit?
Yeah.
Roy Keane played with Schmeichel, right?
Okay,
Roy Keane
okay.
had a pretty good life.
But we're talking about
Romero's been sold by
Romero.
donkeys.
Okay, so now every time we mention a player, we now have to compare him to every player in the team, or do we just talk about that player that we're talking about?
What about this question?
I'm saying,
Still.
put Roy. What I'm saying is put Roy Keane in midfield for Tottenham, and let's see what kind of Roy Keane we get.
You'd see more consistency out of him than you would Romero.
I'd think he'd be calling.
Roy Keane would have lost his mind and quit.
Roy Keane ain't a quitter. Not a chance. Roy Keane would not have quit. He's not a quitter.
He would have punched
Never.
the board out and gone.
Roy Keane would have burnt the fucking stadium down on the way out.
Still, are you starting Van Hecker over Romero at the beginning of the season?
100%, yes, 100%.
Okay.
Then Romero's got to go because
Right,
he's inconsistent. He's not good enough.
Ideally, we need to replace Romero, replace Danzo for a better right.
We already
sided
replaced Romero with
centre-back.
Van Hecke.
Yeah, we need another one. We need another a better right centre back. Right? Come on,
Next
we
summer,
do.
we have too many needs to get it this summer.
Romero for me is a liability. On his day, he can be fantastic, but I've seen enough.
Yeah,
I don't think he's a liability,
100%.
but I think he's done at Spurs. He's done at Spurs, so
fair enough.
He can go to a different club. He'll have a perfectly fine season for them. He'll do well there, but Spurs, he's done.
I think he's going to struggle no matter where he goes.
Both parties, he needs to go.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, whatever way it is, he's got to go.
Do you think the club? Do you think the club, if they don't get like 45 million or more for him, they won't sell him? Or do you think if the only offer they get is like 25 million, they'll take it?
No, they're going to want big money for him.
They'll get 40 million. They'll get 40 million for him.
What's he got? A year left on his contract, guys? Romero. Is that right? Someone check it.
No, he's got longer because he did an extension, didn't he?
Okay.
So, yeah, but
we all know why he got an extension because no one bought him. That's the only reason we gave him another contract. That's the only reason he didn't.
But Dan, this is my point. But Dan, this is my point. So if nobody's prepared to buy him for the price that we think we should get, and we're only going to get like a 25 or 35 million,
they'll get rid of him still. They'll take less money, I think.
That's my question. So you think they will sell him on the cheap then?
Yeah, I think they will. I think
35.
He's got to go.
Good price for him. I'd say he's a good. I'd say 35 is a good price.
I think we'll sell him between 40 and 50 million pounds.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think Romero's feeling now, guys? You know, De Zerbi signing his son.
Care.
He's signing his son, isn't it? You know, his son in Van Hecker, right? Played at Brighton, right? How
Because
do you
they
think
must have.
Romero's feeling now? Do you think he's thinking, oh gosh, right, I'm going to have a fight on my hands now for this first team spot?
Do you know
He
why?
doesn't
Dan?
care. He wants to leave. He does not care.
I
don't
think they've had that
Just throwing it in
conversation
there.
already. I think he's had that conversation with De Zerbi already that he doesn't want to be here.
Yeah, well, maybe.
He's so checked out. He said those comments because he knew he was leaving.
Yeah.
He went back to Argentina because he knew he was leaving. All this bullshit about he was always coming back. There's no doubt he came back because and it wasn't him. The club called him back because of the pressure of the media being out there. He was done. He's known, at least, if not for the whole season, at least since Christmas, he's known that he was gone this summer. So it's honestly, I don't think he cares. Spurs, do whatever you want. He couldn't care less. He's in Argentina, he's in the World Cup with Argentina where he loves to be, and he'll just wait until they tell him where he's going.
If he was that good, someone would have had him last season for 50 million. They didn't, and there was a reason to it. Why? Because of his inconsistency. That is the main problem I have with him.
If he was that bad, Argentina wouldn't play him, but they do.
And if he was that good, someone else would have already bought him.
But there's in between, right? Where he's not world class and he's not shit.
Yeah, okay. I'm not saying he's shit, but he's not good. Not consistently good. On his day, he's up there. On another day, he's down there. It's just the majority of the time down there.
He's consistently good for Argentina, and he was consistently good for Atalanta. He's just the only time he's not consistently good is Spurs.
To prove. Yeah, when he had something to prove at Atalanta.
But he doesn't have anything to prove for Argentina now. Right? He's proved it. He's won the World Cup.
Spurs, he's meant to, okay, I've got a Blue Peter badge for him as well, yeah? But Messi went and done that, and he still played quality every game. Other players go out and play for their country and do things and still play quality for their club. He does not play consistently good for Spurs.
Because he doesn't care about Spurs. He doesn't care about Spurs.
Then he needs to go. End off.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing, Dan. I'm saying the other part is I think he can be consistent at the next club. Because I think he doesn't care about Spurs. That's why he's not consistent.
Do you think it is mainly down to Spurs?
Yeah.
So you're saying you think it's mainly down to Spurs? I just don't think he's got the consistency in him. But
if that was the case, I think we would see more inconsistent games out of Argentina, and he's pretty consistently good. He hasn't had 100% all good games because nobody does. But for Argentina, he's mainly good. And then he comes back to Spurs where he doesn't care. And when he first came
it's different playing. It's different playing for Argentina because you're playing in a tournament or in a one-off game every so often, right? And in a tournament, it's a short amount of games in a short amount of time.
He's not for the bigger games.
Yeah,
like a semi-final or a final, doesn't he?
Europa League final.
Dan, I agree. When you say he thinks he's too big, I agree with you. I think he thinks he's too big for Spurs. I don't think he thinks he's too big for anything else. I agree 100%. He thinks he's too big for Spurs. He thinks he doesn't have his shit don't stink when he's at Spurs. When he's at Argentina and he's not too big, he's there. He's trying. He's doing it. I agree with most of what you say. I just think that if he goes to a bigger club, he won't be able to have that thought. But maybe he will.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Do you think Man United go by him? Do you think United buy him?
No.
I agree with you, Danny. I think the talks.
I don't know if they will.
I agree with Danny. I think the talks have really happened. I think what's happened is, as soon as Ben Davies was announced to stay for another year, Romero's told the club, "I'm done. I'm not having this shit no more. I'm off to Argentina. When I come back, I expect to be out. I'm not doing this anymore. I've put up with this for 5 fucking years. This is bollocks. Laters. Go fuck your club." And I actually think that's kind of how the conversation's gone. And the club have said, "You know what? Fair play. We don't want you either. Happy days. Mutual agreement later." I think that's what's happened.
Now just try and get some money for him. It's just who out of a bigger club who could pay the money that we want. Who could you actually see going for him?
Man United. Danny said
Man U. Yeah, Man United.
Man, you want him as a squad player.
He can go there and fucking sit on the bench. I don't give a fuck about it.
If he goes to Man United,
why would he be a squad player at Man United?
That's what I've heard from the Man U supporters. They want him as a squad player, not to start. They don't want him starting, but they like him because he's got.
Who are they going to start?
Well, I'm not a Man U fan. This is what the Man U fans are saying. They're not happy for him to start, but happy for him on the bench.
So Man United, who've come third, got into the Champions League, who look like they're getting better. They want him as a squad player, but we don't. We want Danzo.
I don't think Man U. Well, when Man U put in a bid for him, I believe it. I don't think Man U would go for him. Not a chance.
And also, let's be honest, they're not going to go and buy Romero to go fucking put him in the squad. He's going to be their starting centre back if Romero's in their squad. That's as simple as that.
Well, they won't sell it to him like that.
And then, no, but he's not going to go there if he's not guaranteed game time. There's no chance about that.
Can you imagine he goes.
Romero's ego's too big. Romero's ego's way too big. He ain't going to go to Man United. You think Romero gives a fuck if it's Man United or not? He wants to go to any club because he believes he's the best in the world. He believes he should be playing at week in, week out as the number one centre-back. That's what his ego is through the roof, right?
And if he was that good, Dan, he'd already be somewhere else. Last season, it was blatantly obvious they wanted him
I
to
know
go,
that, Dan, but what I'm saying is his ego is through the roof. So he ain't going to go to Man United, in my opinion, right? That he's going to sit on the bench. No chance.
It's not his capability.
That's just the fans saying that, though, Danny. That's the fans saying that.
Exactly.
They're not going to sell that to him. They're going to try and convince him to come, and he will be thinking, "Yeah, I want to be the starting centre back."
Yeah,
he will be.
They're only buying. Man United is only buying him to be the starting centre back.
Yeah,
we just talked about how bad Romero's attitude has been when he wasn't the main man here. They're not going to buy him and say, "Now come sit on the bench." They've already seen that Romero can be. So if they're buying him,
and if they do, look, I hope that does happen
because he's a starter for them.
He can corrupt United from the inside.
Guys, isn't it mad that Spurs could be making £100 million on selling two centre backs?
Yeah, that's
crazy, right? And when this offer has gone in for Tonali tonight, 80 million, it's been rejected from Newcastle. I don't know.
Has that actually gone in?
Yeah,
75. It's about 75 to 80, somewhere in that region.
It's been rejected.
That's where they just need to say bollocks and put the money on the table. Stop falling about.
It looks like, Dan, that the 75 million bid was put in a couple days ago. They rejected it straight away because they want closer to 85 million. So it's literally a matter of a little bit of negotiation here and there on the final price, and it'll get done. I don't
that's our biggest problem, Dan. That's what we said we didn't like about Levy. We said we didn't want Levy pissballing about with the 10 million. It's now we shouldn't be doing that. We are desperate.
They're going to get it done. They're going to get it done. They're going to get it done.
Everybody knows look, any player we go for, whether we go for it now or go for it at the end of the season, we're going to get treated the same way. This time it's our own fault because everybody knows we are desperate. And plus everybody knows Spurs do have a bit of money in their back pocket. So Spurs to get a player, we're going to have to pay an extra 20% for that player because squads know they can hold it out against us because no one else is really desperate for money, but they know Spurs are desperate for players. And we're going to have to offer the extra money to the player to give him any sort of pulling power because apart from London, we've got nothing to offer. And if you really want to be serious, who wants to live in London? But that's a different story. And as all we've got to offer is money. And everyone complained that Levy, we lost players because of him, because that he pissballed about with 10 million, 5 million. So why are we doing it now? Just put the fucking money on the table and get him.
Because if you put an offer in that you know is too low, leak it to the media, then you get to tell your fans that you tried to get him.
It's the same with Dan Hecker, isn't it? They started off with 25, then they went up to 40, and then in the end they settled on 52. So it's the start of it, the bidding, isn't it?
Why can't we just
with a player like that? We shouldn't mess about, Dan. With someone like that, if we could get him, we should just go. There you go, and get the job
because
done.
Man City are hovering.
Like with Eze,
can't we just?
I think we would have got Eze if Arsenal wouldn't have got the injury. If we'd have put in the money for Eze and just put it on the table, I think we would have already had. I think we would have already had him. I don't want this happening again.
Good point.
Can't we offer 65 million plus Archie Gray?
Or Sarr, give them Sarr as well. I mean, he's total crap as well.
Yeah, because at least they get another midfielder. There's value in Gray in the future. We get rid of him.
I think Sarr's going to be sold anyway. Like regardless of who goes, he's going to be sold. Like there's no way he's staying at Spurs.
He's an absolute waste of space, puppet.
I know he's awful.
Belief, man.
Wait, no, Stelios is a flip-flopios. Because didn't you see you and your scout say, how did we get Pape Matsasari?
No,
but now he's shit. Yes, you did.
He's flip-floppy.
You're making things up. You sit there wasting a space on the show for an hour and a half. Absolutely nothing to this show. And then the one time you speak, you lie. I've prevented Alex Box Office coming on, Adam Horlock coming on, and you've wasted a space all fucking show. And the one time you open your mouth, you're talking out your Arabic.
Just bring on Alex on anyway, because Dietrich doesn't say shit.
He's just got the ump that his country got beaten by Canada.
Oh, I'm not Qatari, boss.
Honestly,
You got done 6-0 by Canada.
Pape Sarr, right? You know people say he's box to box. Steven Gerrard is box to box. Frank Lampard is box to box. Pape Sarr.
Dele Alli was box to box.
Pape Sarr is cardboard box. He does nothing. He does absolutely nothing. What does he do?
Cardboard box.
No, wait. Didn't you say Man United scouts were like, how did you guys get him? Stop being a flip-flop chaos. That's what you are.
What are you doing? Why are you on my show? Why are you here?
And so your arguments are like your hairline. It's not straight.
Meow. Fucking hell, man.
This is what I mean, bro.
I think Sarr was a.
You're so ugly, you hide the camera so we can't see you.
Sarr was the example.
Go.
No, I don't want to get in between the banter off. But
Sarr was the example. No, speak. I'm about to get racist, so you speak. Stop me from getting racist.
Bring Alex on as well.
Look, we brought
Bring Alex on.
Lads, I'm gonna jump. So bring Alex on. I've got to go, guys. Good night, everyone.
Take care,
Cheers,
Dan.
Still.
See you
Thanks
later,
for having me on. Big up, chat. Take
Guys,
care,
everyone, go follow the Dan list. He does these late night shows full of logic and sense, no BS. Go check him out. Subscribe to his channel, the Dan list, Spurs Dan list.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Dan's
guys.
awesome.
Thanks,
Good
Stel.
job, Dan.
Take
Great
care.
channel.
Bye-bye.
Stel, are you drinking Ouzo?
No, it's water.
Oh.
I only drink water from glass bottles now because apparently plastic bottles is the worst thing. I think it's an age thing. As you get older, you start thinking about your health.
No, there's a lot.
Oh, no, he's on. Danny's on male monopause. That's why he's acting this way.
Why don't you turn your camera on? Get off that dick you're bouncing on in the background. He's got the camera off. He's sitting. He's bouncing. Anyway,
I tried to stop it before you got racist, Stel, and then couldn't stop it.
Mate, racist, homophobic, Islamophobic, anti-Semitic, anti-Greek, anti-English, anti.
That's all he said is that Dietrich likes riding things. That's all. He was only saying that Dietrich likes riding things. That's all he said. You know.
That's it.
Again, each their own at the end of the day. Whatever turns you on.
Camel ones.
Well, at least he knows his gender.
Can we just quickly do this, right? Can we just quickly do this? By the way, anyone watching the show, we are joking. By the way, we're not that way inclined in case any of you complain and all that stuff. Can we quickly talk about the fixtures? Because I actually haven't had a chance to look at these or discuss them properly. Our first game. It's quite late, 22nd of August. Oh, it's because of the World Cup. We've got Brentford away and Newcastle at home. So 2 tough games. It could be Tonali actually play if he's at Spurs, playing his old team within the second game. It's a pretty tough start to the season. And then we've got Forest, Everton, Villa. I don't think, looking at this, the fixtures look too bad.
Isn't it like 3 years in a row we're playing Brentford first game of the season?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Every year we play them.
I think May's the hardest month. Arsenal away.
Didn't we play Burnley first last year?
Man United and then Villa last game. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's Burnley. We beat them 3-0. You're right. Scott's right. We played Burnley. Don't it seem? I mean, Dietrich just lies. He comes on here and just lies every bloody time. Is there any month that concerns you? I'm actually a little bit concerned about May. I think that's a very difficult month. Arsenal, Chelsea, United, and Villa.
Yeah,
Don't sleep
no,
on
which-
December. December
Huh?
too. December's
end
a
of the
hard
month.
month.
Fulham, Arsenal, Hull, Liverpool, Bournemouth, Brighton.
It's not easy.
Well, they're all, most of those games are at home, though. Mind you, though, we're going to be
Yeah,
good
but
at
we
home.
suck at
Yeah,
home.
yeah, at home that's not a good thing, is it? Not at the moment.
All right,
anyway.
do you guys think things will change at home next season? Now De Zerbi's here, and we've signed some decent players in defence.
I don't think we're going to be
really
like
get any
god
worse.
awful, but
It
There's
can't
more
really
chance.
get any worse.
There's more chance of Stel getting his cable Wi-Fi than us winning at home.
I don't
Actually,
think. I don't
they're
think
coming
we're
on
that
Tuesday. I'm getting internet on Tuesday, finally.
bad. I don't think we're that bad. Can we really be any worse at home apart from if we don't win a game all season at home? Can it actually get any worse? That is the only way it gets worse. So for me, about the only thing we can do is actually improve at home. It's going to be pretty hard to get any worse because I can't see us going a whole season without winning a game at home. So I don't think it can get. I don't think it can get any worse personally, unless that happens. So I think we will improve at home. Yes. Will it be by a long way? Will we improve by a long way overall? Who knows? But I think we will do better at home because it's going to be very hard to do any worse.
For me, I'll be honest with you, the only reason we get better at home if we get the players we're currently linked with. If we don't get any better, then no. I think we're still going to struggle at home next year.
Well, if we don't improve in players, we're still going to be looking at relegation. If we're still looking at Archie Grays and stuff like that and Tells and everything else, we're going to be looking at relegation again. But we have already improved that defence.
Yeah, but there's so much your defense can do because last year, I remember we struggled so much from the midfield at home. Every freaking time we always used to get overrun in midfield.
Yeah. That's why they want to spend supposedly near 200 million on two midfielders.
I'm not a fan of Mateus Fernandez, but that's a different story.
Go on, why not? Why did Alex coming on still?
I don't think he's nothing special either,
he's not
personally.
No, he's a good player in my opinion. He's a really good. I was a fan of him when he was at Sporting too, and Southampton got him. But for 85 million, to be honest with you, I can get you Manu Kone. That's 10 times the player of Mateus Fernandez.
There you go.
Or if you really want to spend 100 million, just go get Adam Morton.
Or Adam
you
Morton.
can get Kone to come here.
Kone,
I think so.
Roma is currently broke, and they have to sell the players for FFP. So they
Scott,
could.
Kone is coming to Spurs, not to a different club.
Well,
No, I don't know if
but that's like saying Tonale's coming to Spurs and not a different club. Who's coming to Spurs and not another club? If you don't try, you don't get. It's
And
like
that's
pulling
the
that bird.
I
It's
don't
like pulling
think
that
Tonali's
bird down the
coming to
pub.
Spurs.
If you don't try and you only go for the bush pig in the corner, that's
Well,
all you're ever
still-
going to go home.
Hey,
with.
No,
do you know
So
what, Dan? Do you know what?
That's try.
That's exactly
Italy-
what Daniel Levy was like, right? He never wanted to go into. He always used to say, "I don't go for players when there's a bidding war," right? He doesn't like to negotiate. But it looks like the owners now have changed their mind, and now they don't give a fuck who's
You've
into
got
the
to try.
player. They're
If
going
you
to
don't
try. Yeah,
I don't know why it
And
looks
in
like that.
Italy, I've been telling everyone
Why
this
does it look
again
like
for
that?
like bloody. Italy is one of the main places to go. Europe as a whole, football wise, is totally broke. Bar PSG, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid. And then you go and look at Italy. There's only one club in Italy that has a pot to piss in. That's Como. And why? And that's because both their owners are like billionaires.
Do
Like,
you know what's funny? Even
like
Como,
massive billionaires. Juve haven't got money to throw about. Inter can't do it. AC can't do it. Roma have been up shit street along with Lazio for about 5 or 6 years now. Roma have nearly gone broke. You go and put the money on the table like that, I'm pretty sure they will accept that. And then that is where Spurs have got to use the pulling power they do have. Right, you're getting paid 100 grand. We need you. There's 190 grand and a sign-on fee of 10 mil. People are saying, yeah, that's too much, but it's the only pulling power we've got. We go for a player like that. If no one else goes for him, then we've got him.
Chelsea and Arsenal are already rumored to be going for him. That's the
No,
problem.
but
Man,
Arsenal-
Man City and Arsenal are already rumoured around Tonali.
And I don't think they're getting Tonali.
Scott him.
But we
I
got
can
to
just
try it.
I can
So
give you
do
the,
we just
the
go for
arg-
crap then? So what do we do,
Trying
Scott?
and
Do we
not
just go
getting
for
is-
crap then? Yeah, but if you don't try in life, you don't
Yeah,
fucking
you see,
get.
he's never
Who said
happy.
don't try? He said bring in Kone. I would take Kone over Fernandes every day of the week.
Yeah,
but if he wants to go to Chelsea, then we can't bring him in.
But he's not going to go to
at least try.
He's not going to Chelsea.
100% we should try.
Mate,
but
he's
trying
not...
and getting nothing doesn't work.
No. You got it completely wrong. When you try and do the Levy way, which you let's say they quote you Roma 40 million, and you're like, you know what? I'll give you 20 million. I'll give you 25. No, you go there. You're like, you want 40 million? He's 40 million on the table. He's 200 grand. Kone, come to Spurs. That's it.
And money also talks. Money.
Look at Tonali. Apparently, he's getting like, if let's say the rumors are true, he's getting almost 300k a week. Who's the fuck is gonna say no to that?
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody. It's life.
The rumors are true.
Well, yeah, if the rumors are true, we're just basing off rumors. That's why we're having a discussion. But
exactly,
any player, even Tonali, everyone has a price tag. That's when me and Danny used to have a debate with Sava. In my opinion, I always disagree with him because players do not are mercenaries. It's all about money.
Yeah.
But it isn't all about money if Chelsea puts
with
down
a lot of players.
Chelsea's broke too. Like they just fucked up with FFP too. They can't spend that amount of money. Only Arsenal, Spurs, and Liverpool. That's it.
Man United.
Money talks at the end of the day.
And you know what? It's almost the restart of FFP in a couple of months, and Newcastle have to sell to balance the books.
Yeah, and this is another point as well. When it comes to clubs like Aston Villa, like Newcastle and stuff like that, they will never have the same sort of income unless they are consistently in the Champions League. That is the only way. Whether people like the phrase or not, the further up north you go, the poorer it gets. I can sell my place here and buy 2 3-bedroom houses, 4-bedroom houses up north for the place I've got. Why? Because they do not have the same sort of income. Man City, Newcastle have, what is it, a 55,000 stadium? They can't even put the same ticket prices down as bloody Fulham or Crystal Palace. Neither can Liverpool or Man U and that. They can't bring in the same sort of money that
don't forget this.
London.
London will always be bigger. As much as we finished 17 twice in a row.
Yeah.
Forget about the Scotland lands. Players still look at Spurs as a big club. I know we're not, and in our eyes, we still look at ourselves like we're not bigger than Arsenal or Chelsea. But for players playing at that stadium, playing at that training ground, having the Zerbi, having the infrastructures we are a big club. We just need to act like one.
Listen,
this will be the summer, right? This is the summer.
No, I don't know. No. I'll never say this is the summer. I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows the truth.
Before this goes, guys, 1 minute before we go, I need to wrap it up because I was only going to do a 2-hour show. It's 1 a.m. here. I'm going to.
Of course, you always lie, you Greek.
whatever makes you sleep at night, Dietrich. Adam, thank you for your super chat again. Break your £6 policy. I want to land my plane. I've said to you, I'm going to get you on the next show. I'm going to put you in the WhatsApp group, so there's no excuses. You'll be there. And also, Hotspur OG, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. I appreciate you as well. Yeah, guys, you want to have a last say? I'll wrap it up. Dan, anything you want to say? Plug your channel if you want.
I haven't been doing anything consistent for a while. I've got a lot of other things going on in the background, more important at the moment. I just hope we do get Tonali. I think he's a quality player. I've rated him since AC Milan. I don't think we've quite seen the best out of him over here, but he's still light years ahead of anything we've got. I think this is where we've got to just put the fucking money on the table and bring him in. Anyone who says he would not be a good player at Spurs, then get me someone better. I don't think we could. Are we going to get Anderson? No. Are we going to get Walton? That's not going to happen either, because other people will go for Walton and pay that extra money for him because he's also got the English, the homegrown side on him as well, isn't he? So Tonali is a player I think we can get, because Newcastle, to spend money, have to sell up because they don't make enough money unless they get in the Champions League. That is what happens with clubs up north. I hope we get Tonali. I really do.
Dietrich, and if you want to say the price of shawarmas, how much hummus costs in the supermarket, I don't know.
No, hummus is getting expensive and olive oil too, but you know what? I'm trying to buy Greek yogurt, but I need a supply, so I'll just message you down on the side.
Listen, as long as you know Greek yogurt's the best yogurt, yeah, of course.
It is the best yogurt.
Happy Yep.
Unfortunately, I'd have to see your bald-headed face every time. But it's a different story. I still love you, though. No, I'll just make it short and sweet. Do I think we're gonna get Tonali? Hell no.
Why?
Is there no? Is there no? Do I think we're gonna do it? No. Is there a chance? Yes. But if we manage to pull off a Tonali, like just act like a big club, for me that it's a bigger signing than signing Van der Vaart. For me, it would be at the same level or even above. That for me would be easily one of the best signing I've ever seen at Spurs.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it is.
Van der Vaart was established, man. Played for Real Madrid.
Tonali is an established player.
Bro,
I don't.
They're different players, though. They're different players.
No, I'm just saying.
Van der
No, I'm
Vaart.
just saying based on hype, the situation we are, we cannot get better than Tonali.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, we can't. He's one of the best midfielders.
That's the creams of the creams. Like for me, Tonali
Yeah.
is. I'm not saying this because we might get him. For me, he's easily a top 5 midfielder in the Premier League.
Oh, 100%. I think we're gonna get him.
I hope, inshallah, but let's wait and see. And honestly, I want to see De Zerbi like getting the full control. And as much as I like Vuskovic and the other players, if he doesn't want him, then so be it. Let's move on.
Danny, you think we're going to get Tonali, don't you? You think he's coming?
Yeah. I think we're getting Tonali. I just don't know who the other player would be. I think Tonali is the definite one. I'm not sure about Mateus Fernandes. I think if we were to get him, I do think he'd complement Tonali very well because they've both got very different attributes. But look, if it's not Fernandes, then I want them to bring in again someone of that level. Like I am with Dan and Dietrich on this. I would be more excited to see Manu Kone come through the door than or Locatelli or someone like that than what do you call it? Matías Fernandes, right? Matías Fernandes. So
sorry to cut you off, Danny. Do you know one player that would excite me too from Italy? It's Nico Paz. I think we need another number 10.
Yeah.
If we can manage to get those three, for me that's easily that's an 8 out of 10 window.
I saw that Nico Paz he wants to stay at Como, and there's still discussions with Real Madrid and Como whether or not Mourinho wants him in his plans. And if they are to do, he's going to stay at Como. Apparently, they want to restructure the deal that they have with him. So I think he's going to stay at Como.
Paz is only Como or Madrid. I think. I don't think.
Yeah. And I think look, Tonali has to be a player who'd come in, and if it's Adam Wharton after that with or Kone or some of that level, then amazing, right? But I think we still need 2 midfielders, a striker, and I think we still need 2 wingers as well. If we can do that, then I think we're in for a really interesting season next year.
Sorry to cut you off again. Yesterday I watched the Morocco game versus Scotland. Brother, Robertson was absolutely shit. We need another left back. He was freaking shit.
Was he?
We know that. We saw him last year at Arsenal. Or at Liverpool. He was cooked.
He was still better than anything we got.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but you know what? When we say stuff like that,
though.
right? When we say stuff like that, it's like saying I've got diarrhea, but I'll accept being pissed on. You know.
Also,
if one's better than the other, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to remember though, Stel. You got to remember, right? You got to remember that Robertson is not going to be here for the next 4 years, right? He's here. He's here to help with the transition of where we are now and where we want to be, right? If we get into the Champions League next season, I'm just saying, if we get to Champions League, right, De Zerbi somehow manage to pull that off after we get all these good players in, right? They're gonna have to strengthen again, and it's got to be even better quality. So then you're gonna have to reassess the keeper. You're gonna have to reassess maybe your left back situation. You might need another number 10, or Madison might. I don't know. We don't know, right? We're going to have to keep strengthening. So, look, we just need to go from this where we are now to a team that's back challenging for the top 5, 6. That's where we need to get this season, right? Because top 5 is Champions League football now. So it's not beyond the realms of possibilities where
De Zerbi, I honestly believe still that De Zerbi is targeting Champions League football because there's no way you bring in someone like Tonali, right? But the reason that you can't bring in someone like Tonali on the basis that you don't have a massive plan to bring in top players, right?
I can believe he's target, but get it are different things.
But if you transform the whole, if you've transformed your whole midfield, your whole defense, and your attack in one window, right? You've completely transformed your team to some of the best players in the league.
There's no reason to think we're going to do that.
If we do that, right? If we do that, then that's what the aim will be, because that's what De Zerbi is selling these players in order to attract them. Because you can't sell them. You can't sell them a dream and say, "Oh, next season we want to finish 10th in the top 10."
We're not getting top 4 with players like Danzo, Ben Davies, Robertson in the squad. In my opinion, it's
actually no, because what would be a successful season in your eyes and De Zerbi's eyes?
1 minute. I want to say good night. Europe. If we get into Europe, if we get back into Europe, I think he's done well. Scott, you can have the final say, my man.
I'll just say, I hope we get Tonali.
Let's end it on a positive spot, Scott. Bring it home.
No, it'll be positive. I hope we get Tonali.
And I'm joking. I'm just as negative. I'm just as negative. I'm the same as you.
I hope we could get him. I hope Kinski turns out to be an amazing top-level goalie. I hope Bergvall turns out to be amazing. But until I see actual reasons to believe it, I'm not going to believe in the hope, because I hear that we are interested in Tonali. We are interested in Fernandez. We need to have real reasons. Tonali needs to come in and then somebody else, and then I'll start believing it. But when we have Johan Long still here at the club making decisions, how can I believe that anything's changed? So let's see let's see it. I hope Danny's 100% right, but until we actually see proof of it, I can't. I can't get on board.
One question: would you guys praise Lange if we managed to get like 7 top quality players in this summer?
You can't not praise him then.
Yeah.
If he was involved in them, yeah.
Well, if he's so far, so good.
Well, do you think that Long, or however, I know I can't pronounce his name, is the reason we got Van Hecke? Do you think that it was because of him that we got?
No, but he's part of it. He's part of it. He's got to agree with it as well.
That's what I mean. So, like,
De Zerbi was pushing that one, of course.
I think that's more of De Zerbi, right? I guess, yeah, sure. If we get 7 and 8 quality players, then I'll give him good job. He was part of it, but I would still hope that he's sacked.
I'm not praising anything off this window. I need to see 3 or 4 years of back-to-back good windows. Then I'll praise it, because that's what it's going to take. It's going to need 3 or 4 good years of windows. Because one thing that pisses me off with Tottenham is Dietrich. You're right.
Oh, boy, I need to hide. Give me 1 second.
I heard the police. I was like, you okay?
Stick that backpack in the back of the car.
You know what I'm saying? Get off that camel dick. Get off that camel dick. It's illegal. Spurs always sign. They do their best business when we're not in Europe, and then they try and chase it. Then when we get back into Europe, they stop. So if De Zerbi gets us top 6, top 4 this year, next year, whenever, what we do then is that's what I'll judge on. Because that's what they didn't do for Conte, they didn't do for Poch, and they didn't do for Redknapp. I think De Zerbi will get us top 6, top 4 in the next couple of years, maybe 3. When he does that, that's when I'm going to judge if Tottenham's changed or not, because that's the moment. That's when Liverpool and Arsenal acted differently and won the league. So
even if we finish 10th, it's a significant improvement, isn't it?
Dan, if we finish 16th, it's an improvement.
But it's not a significant improvement.
I think 10th is a realistic goal that we should be shooting for. 10th,
8th
is a realistic goal.
I think if we have a really good summer window, we can get Europe. I do, because we only got 1 game a week, and I think Ange with 1 game a week got 5th. Man United 1 game a week got 3rd. I think if we have a good window, we can get Europe.
Chelsea did it, didn't they?
Chelsea. One last super chat, Adam. You cost me £10 after being promised I could come in. You mean come on? Come on.
Wait. Why do you write CUM?
Yeah.
Adam, that's a bit odd, bro. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. Listen, Adam, you're on the next show. I've told you.
Yeah,
You're on the next show.
Still excited when it's black cover.
I've got a camel. I've got a camel. Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you follow Danny, Scott, Dan, Dietrich, and Box Office as well. Until the next show. Who was on early that left? Oh, and Dan List. Make sure you follow Dan List as well.
Alex.
All right, people. Look after yourselves. Until the next show. Peace.